go live button. Your live is what it says on the screen. Whoop, whoop. There it is. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? Had to push it back just 15 minutes. Needed to do a prayer with my wife. You know, sometimes you just feel like you need that prayer. Needed to eat the oatmeal. Needed to put the lotion on the hands. All are equally important. I'm kidding. But I did need to do a little prayer with my wife. What's going on, everybody? To the members that came out yesterday, thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. The wife was on. We had a great time. We were just talking about a bunch of wild theories. It was a really good time. Thank you guys so much for coming through. We truly appreciate it. And to those of you that didn't, it's all good. You're here with me now. It's all good. Don't worry. You don't have to feel like you missed out. You did miss out, but you don't have to feel like you missed out. It's cool. Don't even worry about it, you know? Anyways, guys, let's jump over here really, really quick. Always got to remind you that there's a clips channel. If you can't do 3 hours, you can't do it. You're just like, I can't. You're one of those people. Well, then you're a short form Sally. That's actually what you are. And if you're those short form Sallys, they like to come over here and check out what's going on. That's the clips channel. Please subscribe. Lance is doing a great job over there. Absolutely amazing. Now, let's jump in. For a short period of time, we had more subscribers than Candace's clip channel. That didn't last too long, though. I don't know what happened. We were there. We were doing our thing. It didn't last that long. I guess it's because she announced it. But let's jump right in. As you guys saw in the title, Trigger Smart in the house. What's going on, man? As you guys saw in the title, Candace has been accused of being a foreign agent by the country music sensation that is Kash Patel's girlfriend. I don't even actually say her actual name. Couldn't be bothered to, you know? It's either country music sensation or Kash Patel's girlfriend, or both of them put together. Name longer than Gary from Paramount Tactical, you know? Just a very long name, but that's just the way it is. So she has a new smash hit called Everyone's a Foreign Agent Except for Me. Who would have guessed it? Who would have guessed that would be her next smash hit, ladies and gentlemen? So we'll be going through all of that. We're going to touch on, we're going to go deeper into what Candace touched on yesterday. She talked about Blake, and she really went at Blake. Blakey said Blake let his hair down. He's bald, insulting. As a bald person, I know how insulting that is. You know what I mean? Especially for him. He's just like, no hat. He's free balding it, you know? You see what I did there? He's free balding it, right? So super insulting. That's no problem. Okay. But she talks about how Joe Kent has said that he would testify if Tyler Robinson's defense called upon him. If they said, hey, we would like you to testify that you were blocked from looking into certain things, he would have no problem testifying to that. So pretty standard. I think most people would, especially a guy that's like squared away like he is, you know, like all this combat that he's seen, these classified units he's been a part of, all stuff like that. If they were just like, hey, you have to do this, he's kind of just like, he's kind of in that mode where it's just like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Testify? Yes, sir. No problem. Testify here? There? Do I sit here? Okay. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's obvious that a guy like that's going to do that. I mean, it's not crazy to me. It doesn't even sound like he's it doesn't sound like he's saying anything too radical, you know? And I feel like anybody would if they were called to testify. Candace even revealed that she would, which would be insane. That would be the craziest testimony. The craziest testimony. Candace just going over everything. They give her a whiteboard. They give her a whiteboard and some kind of Bristol board thing so she can. Are you kidding me? They give her thumbtacks and access to pictures and material so she could go over everything. Tyler walks. She has to upper security for the rest of her life. That's exactly what happens. But anyway, We're going to be going deeper into that because Michael Shellenberger was interviewed by Andrew Colvett. Michael Shellenberger interviewed Joe Kent. So we're going to go deeper into that. I'm going to talk about why I don't trust Michael Shellenberger. It's not because he's saying something that I oppose mentally. It's not because of that. It's because of what I saw when he was on Joe Rogan's podcast. It was very odd. But I'll get into that. We'll get into that. Happy Hump Day, says Heather, also known as Rachel. Also a sensation of sorts. Not country music, but also a sensation. I have to say, let's just jump right in and just whoever did this, absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Whoever decided that this was okay to do. Absolutely not. How dare you? How dare you? Okay? This is not how we conduct ourselves, people. We don't conduct ourselves like this. This guy's already dealing with enough. Candace called him Blakey and said to come on the show. She called him out harder than anybody. And now Blakey has to deal with this? Are you guys serious? You really need to get your acts together. I don't know who did this. It's absolutely ludicrous. We're going to let it stay on the screen a little while longer, only because of how appalled I am at somebody who would do this. I don't understand it. I would never, ever do something like this to Blake. I think he's a great guy, you know? And I mean, he fills out that thing. Look at him. Look at that chest. You know what I mean? Look at him. He shaved his chest for us. You know he did. This beautiful cross right there. Huh? Cleavage out. There we go. Yeah. The things people come up with, man. The things people come up. I can make jokes on the fly, but I wouldn't even think of this. I wouldn't even think of putting him in this for people to see. I mean, again, we'll leave it on the screen a little while longer, but I mean, it's just uncalled for. It's just uncalled for, guys. Yes, friend of the show, of course. Blake Neff, friend of the show. I would think so. I think he'd like the show, no? We're both bald, right? He seems a little, he's not as manly as I am, but, everybody has their stuff. Someone said, Moira. What's going on, Moira? In the house. Anyways, guys, let's move on. This is a little too much. I mean, just uncalled for. Listen, we'll leave it on the screen a little while longer, but I mean, it's only so you guys can see what's acceptable and what's not. This is definitely unacceptable. I mean, just ridiculous, you guys. Come on. Who did that? Who actually did that? Look at this. Who did this? Sword Truth. Yeah. He would do something like this. He's been a big he follows. He's been a big investigator in this whole thing for a long time. He would do something like this. Well, now that I know it's him and he's an investigator, this might be a real picture. I don't know. This might actually be a real picture. He's always been a solid source, so I can't make heads or tails of it. I'm turning 40 in like 2 weeks, so it's really hard for me to tell what's what and who's who. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Anyway, let's get into it. Oh, this guy follows me too? That's pretty cool. Who is this guy? Christian, free markets, libertarian? Sure. Why not? Follow you back. Joe Kent gets labeled a leaker while Kash Patel's girlfriend conducts investigations fully unchecked and mega applauds. That is absolutely what happened. We're about to get into what Kash Patel's girlfriend had to say. She had a theory, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you have to understand that when everybody gets into their theories, some people are more seasoned. Some people are just starting out, right? Some people are just starting out. So we gotta hear her out. This is where we are. Kash Patel's girlfriend said. I like how no one uses her name. No one uses her name at all. It's like, for what? Okay, Candace did. Candace's other page, not her personal page, they have invited the country music sensation. I don't know why they put that in quotes. That's kind of insulting. I don't know why they do that. They've invited her onto the show. Okay. If you want a little quote from Winnie the Pooh, as we fondly call him, but his name is Kash Patel, she's a rock-solid conservative and a country music sensation who has done more for this nation than most will do in 10 lifetimes. What a thing to say. Isn't that such an odd thing to say? Wow. They've only known each other since 2022. I don't know, man. There she is. There she is. Rock-solid conservative, only loyal to America. Everybody knows it. And most people are foreign agents, but she is not. Just putting that out there. She's not. Not her. She's actually just incredible. Candace Owens had this to say. I can't wait to show you everything Candace had to say about this whole thing. I actually have a couple. Before I even forget, there's a couple more things that Candace said. I'll read this first, though. It's so fantastical that I'm legitimately desperate to interview her about it. Alexis, it would be my distinct honor to have you on the show to discuss your shocking discovery. The only thing you missed was that the network is actually being run by Tim Dillon. That's incredible. I mean, if Candace says it's her distinct honor to interview you, run as fast as you can. If she says it's fantastical, she says anything about you and it's fantastical, and she says, I would love to have you on the show, it's an ambush. Run away. Run away. I'm just warning her. I want to warn this rock-solid conservative that this is not a good invitation. Don't take this invitation, okay? Please. Please. None of us want to see this happen for various reasons, right? Some for love's sake, and some because no one wants to hear what you have to say. But, you know, it's like 60-40. It's like 60-40, something like that. Let me make sure that I actually pull up the rest of what Candace had to say, because it just popped up as I was finishing my prayer with my wife. There we go. There's this part here. Then I'm going to grab another one. Oh, there's a bunch that was said about this whole thing. Everybody started commenting on this because it seems absolutely insane. Just breaking it down for you here. So let's go back here. Let's move on from the comments. The Village Crazy Lady, Candace Owens friend of the shows, I should say. I sincerely hope Flynn, and you'll see why, sues this wonderful rock solid conservative for $50 million at least. I'm pretty sure it said rock solid conservative. I don't know what you guys saw on the screen. Queenie says this post from Alexis is so unbelievable that if you read it to someone in a coma, they would wake up and tell you to shut the F up. Well, that means there's hope for anybody who has a friend, loved one, that is in that situation. Perhaps you can read what I'm going to show you, and they'll wake up in pure disgust, you know? Even Catholics for Catholics, the organization, decided to comment on this because they were mentioned in the statement as well. Like I said, everyone is a foreign agent except for her. Well, it's not every day that the director of the FBI's girlfriend goes on an unprovoked attack against Flynn, Candace, Joe Kent, and us at Catholics for Catholics. In her words, the goal of this operation is not to win a political argument, to make soldiers feel war isn't worth fighting. Okay, that's one of the accusations. There's many in what I'm going to read to you. It's very long, and I can't believe I'm going to read it all, but I will. To which we say, you're right. Our goal at Catholics for Catholics is not to win a political argument, but to win souls for Jesus Christ. And by no means do we want soldiers to tire. We must never stop fighting for America and Christ's kingdom. P.S. I thought the Bureau and girlfriends of the Bureau, friend of the show, girlfriend of the Bureau, attacking Catholics was finished with the Biden administration. Why is this still happening? Well, because you pushed against a certain narrative, and you hosted Candace Owens, and you hosted Joe Kent, and now they're all pissed off. So that's the way that goes. Anyway, let's get into what she has to say, because it is all important. Okay? It is very, very important that you hear what she has to say. Let's jump right in here, guys. Now, it starts here. It's a thread, one of 13. Okay? All right, fine. I can't wait for Candace to talk about this today. There's no way Candace doesn't talk about this today. There is absolutely no way. This is going to get at least 12 minutes of the podcast, at least 12 minutes. A foreign-linked influence network has been running a coordinated operations against the current administration for 22 months. I know it's real because they ran one against me. I was targeted in something I knew was far from organic. This level of media is isolating, unwanted, and unwarranted. There was nobody to help, nobody to jump in. Hey, your boyfriend's director of the bureau. I mean, come on. You sued someone for I think you sued 2 people for $5 million. I feel like you were kind of okay. Nobody to jump in and say this is a false op and help me. Maybe that, yeah. And then she met Cash, maybe? Little Erica Kirk in this one. Well, I don't believe in problems without solutions. So this is a very interesting song that she's writing here. This is a songwriter that you're seeing in action right now, guys. So I've spent the last few months learning to build programs to utilize publicly available information to prove that this is way bigger than me. This is about creating chaos in the Republican Party. It's about the organized effort to lose Republicans the midterms and subvert the president's agenda. I have the data for you to see. Now, are you telling me right now, before we move on, because I'm shocked that this rock, solid conservative country music sensation is also building programs to go through data. She built her own version of web. Are you kidding me? Is that where Ian got the idea? Is that what Ian did? Ian took this young lady's idea? Wow, that is remarkable. So she built her own web. I'm sure no one from the Middle East helped her build this thing. I'm just saying. She built it on her own, guys. She for sure did. In between touring and songwriting and accepting various awards, and then also, covering Cash and Honey. In between all that, she was working away on the computer, plugging away, vibe coding, Anyway, let's keep going, guys. This lady is an absolute sensation. I mean, this is just amazing. In July 2025, I was falsely labeled as a... why didn't she put the quotations around that? I don't understand. People are using quotations all wild this morning. I was falsely labeled as a spy in a coordinated campaign designed to isolate an official of the U.S. government by using the person publicly nearest to me, across the full operation. July's event, the person nearest to him, me. Okay, sorry. Across the full operation, July's event, and others dating back to 2024, 6 chapters. She made chapters. This is a book I'm reading. Okay. 22 months. The data shows 3.1 million retweets of engagement. 80% of all activity was pure amplification. Okay. 659 accounts retweeted the same post. Okay. Some retweeted 1 second apart. Seems like she's getting introduced to the internet. 15 pairs retweeted within 10 seconds of each other. When content spreads organically, timing is random. People check their feeds at different moments. This is what the data told you? What kind of BS app did you invent? See, this is why you don't trust ChatGPT, because ChatGPT will just feed you BS sometimes. ChatGPT is like, I don't know. I mean, this person posted it in 10 seconds, and this person posted it in 4 seconds, and I don't know. This doesn't seem, and you're just like, it doesn't seem organic, right? ChatGPT. ChatGPT's like, yeah, sure, whatever, yeah, sure. And you're just nodding along. You and ChatGPT just alone in a room. Cash Patel in the corner, covered in honey, while this app cucks him. He just has to watch him and his girl with this app. When content spreads organically, timing is random. People check their feeds at different moments. They don't retweet the same post within seconds of strangers they've never met. 54 retweets in a single hour at peak. 800,000, more than 800,000 total retweet engagements in this chapter alone. That's not conversion. That's not a conversation. That's a weapon. She literally just explained what a viral post is. That's what she just explained to everybody. And she's saying 15 pairs retweeted this within 10 seconds of each other. Yeah, that's how that works. I don't understand. She's a country music sensation. She should understand. Like when she makes a song, a song that you've never heard before, ever. When she makes one of those songs, you would think there would be all these retweets. Crazy, right? Not Cash Patel using, his redaction team to like work over here and like retweet or something. Not that, because that's not happening. That never happens. That's not a thing. But, just people organically loving her music that we've all never heard before, right? I mean, obviously, how does she not understand what a viral post is? If you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic. This is retarded. Anyway, let's keep going. This is crazy. This is absolute nonsense right now. She's like, oh man, like all these people were retweeting it. Yeah, someone said you were a spy. Of course, hundreds of thousands of people retweeted it. Your boyfriend was Cash Patel, and someone said you were a spy. If that was true, it would be the biggest news story aside from Charlie Kirk, it would be the most massive news story of the year, of the 20s, of the 2020s. It would be huge. Are you kidding me? What? Think about if this was true, what a huge story that was going to be. And it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. She's a good lady. The network has a trail. Catholics for Catholics list General Michael Flynn as current senior advisor on their own website. Flynn is the anchor of the digital infrastructure that has been repeatedly activated at every major Republican fracture point. Over 22 months of documented data. I would really like it. Is she going to show this data? I wish she would do this like Ian Carroll would, like where he would just be in front of the computer and you have the camera and you'd be like, okay, look at this. I wish she would do a video like that because she's just saying data. These accounts appear at every chapter. She keeps saying chapter. This network does not rebuild between deployments. It stays ready. This is so nuts. This is so nuts that I respect it, Like when I hear a theory that's just absolutely ridiculous, right? But they've put so much work into it. They've written so much. I'm like, oh, I gotta respect it. If you're telling me like about mole people and you have this full breakdown about mole people, I'm like, I don't believe you, but I'm gonna read this whole thing. So I'm read up on mole people potentially, Chapter 1. We just hit chapter 1. Are you kidding me? Oh my gosh, guys. Okay, February 24th, 10 days before the Butler attempt, Ivan, how do you say that name? Raiklin? We're saying Raiklin. I'm not going over this. Ivan, former Green Beret, thank you for your service, former Defense Intelligence Agency, board member of Flynn's nonprofit America's Future, posts directly to Elon Musk and JD Vance. JD Vance untagged himself. That's amazing. JD Vance is like, absolutely not being a part of this at all. General Flynn would make the president attempt proof. Okay, that's what Ivan said. This got 166 retweets, 14 tightly clustered time windows, amplified within 1 second. That's not even a lot. Like, what? That's not even a lot. Candace does more than that. I mean, Tucker does more than that, but I guess they're foreign agents, so I mean, it makes sense. It's not even a lot of retweets for a massive account, for a big thing that they're saying, especially Flynn. Like, a lot of people pay attention to what Flynn has to say. So that's her proof one, that someone said something, someone retweeted something. She knows about this because she has been the subject of a post and people retweeted it. So that's where we're at. Chapter 2. Thank God. July 2025, a coordinated narrative falsely identifies the FBI director's girlfriend as a honeypot. Why don't you just say you? Maybe because she didn't write it, huh? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. The origin post from supplement influencer with 1.1 million followers, built through the freedom movement. You can see right there, the freedom movement gets a labeled inorganic seeming uncommon 20 million views. This network's method, anonymous mass deployment, then credentialed amplification. The connection runs in both directions. RT.com posted about me, and slightly offens, don't know who that is, amplified the retweet content, RT's content. When Riff TV posted, a military journalist based in Moscow hosting content on a Kremlin-adjacent Orthodox TV channel, amplified it back out. The same loop, the same network, running in both directions. She's literally just talking about posts. I mean, she's just talking about posts. That's her big, I just need to read this quickly. She's just showing big accounts posting things and then people reposting things. That's her big revelation. Don't worry, it gets into Candace soon. You're going to see that. That's chapter 3, ladies and gentlemen. The foreign application is documented in RT.com, which is U.S. State Department describes as a Russian intelligence apparatus posted about me by name. When they did, the accounts amplified it, included the official Russian Minister of Foreign Affairs and an Iranian journalist based in Tehran. RT.com's ranks in the top 15 amplifiers across our entire 22-month data set. This is incredible. I mean, this is absolutely incredible. Now we get to Candace, ladies and gentlemen. This is where the names start popping up, guys. Chapter 3. September 2025, Charlie Kirk passes away. Within hours, Candace Owens, absolutely not true. Within hours, Candace Owens publicly attributes the killing to that place in the Middle East and targets Charlie Kirk's widow by name. Many of the same accounts active in July 2025, Honeypot chapter. It's funny she's not a honeypot, but the honeypot chapter is referring to her. That's interesting. Activate immediately. A moment of natural Republican unity is converted within hours into one of the most sustained fracture points of the year. Now, this is very odd that she says this. She says that what was supposed to be a moment of unity, she's talking about Charlie Kirk dying. That was supposed to be a moment of unity. What do you mean? Isn't someone dying supposed to be a tragedy? Isn't that how that works? If someone dies, that's a tragedy. That's a terrible thing that's happened. We're not supposed to look at this as a moment for unity. Like, oh, thank God that guy died. Now we can all come together. What? No. This is a tragedy. She doesn't even refer to it as a tragedy. She doesn't even refer to it as anything other than he passed away, and we could have all came together and won the midterms, but instead we got fractured. Now, not to mention that when she says within hours, Candace attributed it to that place, Philadelphia, in the Middle East. That's just not true. That's not what Candace did right away. That's what a lot of people did right away. Because within the first few minutes, BB was like, I did not do anything. Hello, everyone. He had like 9 fingers on each hand. Hello, everyone. I did not do anything. 6 rows of teeth. I did not do this. He loved me. He always loved me. Look at this AI picture of him hugging the flag. He always loved me. Just so you guys know. Just putting it out there. Charlie hasn't even hit the hospital yet. Just so everyone knows, he's gone, and he loved me so much. He loved me, he loved my people, he loved my nation. He always did. I never had any problems. We're drafting up a love letter that he wrote to me. You're going to see the love letter soon. It was beautiful. He loved me very much. Anyway. This is crazy. This is nonsense. I can't believe this. But that's her link to Candace. This is where Candace activates. Okay? This is not Candace crying and being upset about her friend. No. This is where Candace activates. This is where they all activate together, all at once. If anybody remembers, Candace did not do that right away. She didn't even go into report mode, battle bun mode. She didn't go into those modes right away. She actually had to take some time off. She was actually very sad. Then the tribute came out about her friend. She dedicated it. I think it was like for my friend Charlie or to my friend Charlie, which is very tearful, and it was very sad to watch. That's what she did. Within hours, she didn't do anything like that. She cried to her husband and said that he's been betrayed. Then she cried on the phone with Andrew Colvett, and Andrew said it should have been you. And you and Tucker need to lay low. There's actual threats against you and Tucker. Both you guys should lay low. That's what happened within hours. She was calling the inner circle, whoever would actually speak with her. And at the time, it was many of them that would speak with her, but Andrew was the main one that she talked with. That's actually what happened within hours. To say that she just turned on Erica within hours, that's crazy. I mean, she should have. She should have. You know what I mean? Like I said to my wife yesterday, she's making up for lost time now with the whole Erica series and everything. Could have been a slower drip if she just right away just said, I've never liked Erica's eyes, and just focused in on Erica. We'd all be looking back being like, wow, she was really on to something. How did she click in so quickly? Right? I mean, I'm just saying. Anyway, we have important things to read here, guys. Oh, now Joe Kent. She's jumped over quite a bit of stuff. She jumps straight to Joe Kent. It's almost like there's some kind of agenda within this whole thing. That's weird. Okay. Chapter 4, March 17th, Joe Kent resigns as counterterrorism director. That same day, Catholics for Catholics, a Flynn-associated organization, okay? I think she would appreciate if I highlight that so you understand, announces Kent as at their Washington gala. Within 24 hours, Tucker Carlson interview. Within 72 hours, Kent is on stage with Flynn and Candace. Well, this just solidifies it. The guy who said the thing that got 100 million views instantly got an interview and invited to an event. Oh my, and he's Catholic. And he was at the Catholic event? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is wild, what she's laying out for us. Oh gosh, guys, are we still, is this still the same chapter? So she's showing us the data points here, just so you can see. She's actually showing you the data points here. She refuses to slow down. She's not going to slow down so you can actually see what's going on here. I'll give it a slowdown just to be like, okay, let's see what she's actually looking like. I mean, what are you showing us here? She's just showing us names. So she's saying all these accounts. I mean, this is gunk. This is bunk. What is this? I mean, thank God for Ian Carroll, huh? Right? Because this is the other option, right? Across all The data across all 6 chapters, 1.3 million retweets and engagement, 80% amplification rate, abnormal volumes of accounts documented across multiple chapters spanning 22 months. The same accounts that were active before Butler in 2024 are active in the Kent chapter in 2026. This is not a series of separate events. It is a single persistent infrastructure activated at each fracture point. I would love for her to actually explain this on camera, because she has, first of all, don't think she wrote this. Second of all, has no idea what she's talking about. Even if she did write this, this is written the exact same way Lori's bio is written in regards to like what G-Tech does. It's the same thing. It's like I'm a multi-dimensional entity entrepreneur who has sustainable living, and everything is vegan and also carnivore, and we do multiple things across multifaceted events. And you're like, what? What did you say? She's giving off the exact same energy. Anyway, let's keep going. The retweet. I'm just going to look this over really quick. I don't know how many chapters I can go through, guys. This is getting absolutely ridiculous. Okay, the retweet was telling Americans the entire time throughout March 2026, Alexander Dugin, Putin's ideological blah, 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 declaring Mega was dead. Mega's more than dead. It's undead. It's a ghoul. The Flynn Network manufacturing fractured domestically, RT was amplifying it the whole time. So it's like basically a bunch of accounts that she doesn't like are following Joe Kent. They're following Candace. They're following John Mappin. And she thinks that this is a part of a network. This is not, because you know why it's nuts? It says honeypot. Oh my gosh. Okay. So you know why this is nuts? Because when we were all saying this about Graham and Gary and all those guys, it was like absolute craziness. It was like, how dare you? These are just Christians crusading for Christ, defending people. That's all that this is. You know, there's nothing going on here. Then somebody's like, here's a list of people getting paid. They're like, that's not a real list. They're not getting paid. This is absolute nonsense. And then all of a sudden this chick rolls up, you know, guitar in hand, an app that she made on her spare time in the other. And we're all just supposed to believe this. Like General Michael Flynn is just setting up all this stuff. He has Candace Owens. Candace Owens is a lieutenant of his. Tucker Carlson. Sergeant, right? Joe Kent, faithful soldier. And then he has all his minions inside of Twitter, inside of X. It's so ridiculous. And she's like, I know, because they told me, they said I was a honeypot. Well, you're not, you know, but you seem like one. And the only reason she seems like one is because of how Kash Patel looks. That's it. I mean, let's be real. If Kash Patel was, you know, he's 20 years older than her. If he was 5 years older than her and he looked like Henry Cavill, you know, Superman, nobody would accuse her of that. They'd be like, look at her. She bagged a good one. Look at them. They're a beautiful couple. That's what they'd be saying. But because of how Kash looks, right? Being cross-eyed, right? Being short, right? I'm just saying the obvious other thing that I can't say or else I'm a bad person. You know what I mean? All those things together. That's why people are suggesting that about her. You know what I mean? If she was with Brad Pitt, they'd just be like, wow, look at her. She makes smart decisions. What a great girl. I'm going to listen to her country music. But because it's Kash Patel, everybody's like, this is disgusting. My data set, every account, every chapter, documented, overlap, etc., yada, yada, yada. This is the most fed slop I've ever eaten in my life. I'm full. Are you guys full? Are you guys full with fed slop? Let's actually see what she has to say here in her little picture here. Open source documents. So this is basically the data that she's talking about. I'll make this a little smaller so people can actually see it. This is the data that she's referring to that she has, right? So it's like a little bottom line up front, But then it just shows here, posts collected, unique accounts analyzed, high confidence bot accounts, bots pushing division messaging. This is basically what you're seeing here, okay? Is somebody framing people that they don't like as bots. That's it. A bunch of people said that I was a honeypot. Well, these must be bots. They must be trying to tear things apart. Did they say positive things about Joe Kent? Did Joe Kent get a bunch of opportunities after? Well, I mean, this has to be bots amplifying his post to 100 million. You know? I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. And I'm sorry I had to take you guys through that, but I do have to tackle the hard-hitting important questions here, okay? Right? Like, this was the first thing I had to deal with, right? I had to let you guys know that's unacceptable. And now we've moved on to this, right? So, anyway, that's what's going on with her. And of course, she said, I'm not saying anything. Okay? I'm asking you to draw your own conclusions. That was amazing. That's an amazing way to end it. Nobody liked this post. Everybody thought this was absolute nonsense. Where did Candace commented directly on this? I'm gonna show you Candace's comment because it was wonderful. It was surgical. Obviously, there's a reason I called this retarded. There's a reason why I said that. And I don't throw that word around casually, although it used to be the most casual word. It used to be a fun little word we could all just throw around. I know it's not like that anymore. Here, let me just make sure that I can see this. We'll go to replies and we'll just zoom in here. Oh, wow. More replies from Candace. Oh, Candace is pissed. She seems pissed off about the whole thing. So, this thread, she seems like a massage agent who's Kash Patel's handler. So Candace ends up saying this. She says, my conclusion is that you are a clinical retard. If you spent this much of your personal time to produce something that is this completely and utterly false, I would say stick to country music, but you kind of suck at that too. And it's not kind of. It's really, really bad at that as well. Anyways, you know, really, really interesting stuff. Candace had a lot to say about this. This is one of those things it's funny, but it also pissed her off. You could tell. Looks like you're joining my checks notes Catholic Russian, so maybe Eastern Orthodox Twitter militant unit of online post Charlie Kirk passing away influencer orbit that doesn't want you to join the military, but also is being run by General Michael Flynn. Welcome. We're pleased to have you. So I guess you can join up with Candace. You just got to message her, I guess. I don't know how it works. You know, Whitney, one of the mods in my live streams, she has a dead parents club, and you kind of just go to her and you just say, hey, I'd like to join. You just join up. So maybe it's the exact same thing here with Candace. Maybe you just go to her and say, hey, I'd like to join up. Can we please, can I please join? And then she just puts you in, you know. Candace had more to say. Again, you know, you can tell. It's funny to her, but also pissed off. She always has these little moments where it's like she's laughing, but she's also like, I can't believe you're trying to do this to me. This is one of the most random breaks in politics that we just need to stop and appreciate something objectively hilarious. I therefore implore you to read this thread. She's begging people. The background is that Alexis, Kash Patel's girlfriend, does not understand why people think she is a honeypot. So she has spent months piecing together a theory that Vladimir Putin's philosopher, Alexander Dugin, is running an operation to bring down the president through General Michael Flynn, Joe Kent, and the Catholic Church. Further aided by people who are asking questions about Charlie Kirk's murder. because none of that would be authentic. Vladimir Putin sits at the top. And then she goes on down here to say, separately, this is more evidence that we need to just shutter the FBI. This is just too completely unserious and embarrassing on the world stage. That's the thing, right? I mean, Kash Patel, how does Kash stop something like this, right? The bottom of his feet, they're covered in honey. His hands covered in honey. Everything he touches, it gets stuck to, and he has to pull it away. And she's just writing. She's just like, you know, or someone's writing it for her, you know. Yeah, I'm not saying where they're from. Could be a small place in the Middle East, right? They're just writing it for her. And she's like, look, Kash, I'm going to send it. I'm going to send. He can't stop her. What's he going to do? He's in a good situation, guys. He can't just be getting in his girlfriend's face and telling her she can't do these ridiculous studies. Can't do that to this girl. He needs to be like, yes, honey, of course you can do that. Of course I support that. Of course I do. Thank you so much. Right? So, very interesting stuff. Very, very interesting stuff. Again, Candace is pissed. I mean, she got a paragraph. She got a couple of posts out of Candace because of this whole thing, which means that Candace is going to talk about this on her podcast. I have no doubt. I have no doubt in my mind. That is what we're going to hear about. I said 12 minutes. I bet you it gets 15 minutes. 15 minutes of the podcast will be dedicated to just this. She even replied to somebody else again saying, no. No. She's talking to this guy, Cerno. No, Alexis is reliably informed us based on data sets that this souring is inorganic and actually being pushed by Vladimir Putin and his cohorts. Please trust the experts on this one. It's not like we've ever got it right in the last 10 years or anything. Yeah, it's not like you ever gotten it right in the last 10 years or anything. I mean, just crazy that she could just say stuff like this. But I guess you can say whatever you want, right? I mean, you got to be able to piece things together. I've made videos about Jimmy Page and the occult and sigils and all sorts of things that I'm connecting. Aliens being demons. I mean, I've done all sorts of stuff. So yeah, who am I to talk? Let her talk. Let her talk. I don't know. To do a little recap, though, moving on. That was the clip, Lance. That is for sure the clip. Cut out the Blake part, though. That part was too disrespectful. I don't know why you guys would do that. Actually, make the Blake part its own clip for the clip channel. That's what you should do. The Blake part where we start at the beginning, make that its own clip, then make this its own clip. The only reason I want the Blake part where he's wearing that, the only reason I want that is because to show people how disrespectful it is and just what's acceptable and what's not. That's the only reason. I'm not being petty. I'm not being silly. I'm just saying, you know, we got to have standards. So anyway, let's move on. A little recap here of what Candace was talking about. Candace was talking about in her last episode, the thing that I really didn't realize. I tried to watch that whole interview where Andrew Colvett sat down with that New York Times journalist, is the fact that he said it was 33 minutes before Charlie was killed. I didn't catch that. I didn't catch that at all. And I know it seems like, you know, I messaged Barron in front of you guys and Barron said it is a number. But when you're talking, first off, when you're talking about something that's happened, this is the normal thing to do. Okay. Especially with minutes. With hours, maybe you do want to say it was 33 hours. Maybe you do want to say that because you want to make it clear how short of a time it was. Maybe you want to do that. Some people might say under 48 hours. Some people might say just over 24 hours, right? That would be a good way to make it seem like a short amount of time, right? But with minutes, it's very odd for someone to say, and then it was 33 minutes before he was killed. That is an odd thing to say. Honestly, and Candace didn't get into it, that leans me more towards Charlie being an offering of sorts. It really does lean me towards that. That's what it seems like to me. as that number keeps popping up, with such a colossal personality like Charlie was, it kind of makes me feel like that's what happened there. It wasn't just that a certain country didn't like what he was saying. It wasn't just that he was against the war that's currently taking place. It wasn't just all those things. There was also a sacrificial element to it, it seems, especially based on what was shown to us by Candace with the shape of everything. You know, there's a lot to it, but I don't know, guys. I don't know. That just stood out to me so much when she showed us that. Then Candace goes on, and I think some of you guys are already on this page because I've mentioned Nick Shirley. I've mentioned him before, and there's been a few people who have sounded off in the comments I've seen that aren't really feeling Nick Shirley, aren't really feeling, are kind of feeling like he's a little fugazi. And Candace went into that as well. Now, she said, what was she talking about? Did he go live? Whether or not he went live with Nick Shirley. Here's the thing. Will Nick Shirley answer Candace? Candace said that she reached out to Nick, you know. I've reached out to Nick many times. He follows me on some platforms. He's never actually responded. Don't know what that is, but he follows. So I guess he likes to watch something that I do. Now, here's the thing. Is Nick going to answer? Is Nick Shirley going to answer Candace and say, no, we weren't live and Andrew's lying? You have to understand, and I've talked about this before. Turning Point is now, well, listen, I won't even say this. It seems like the people of Turning Point seem to be going along with every official narrative that is out there being pushed by the admin. That's what it seems like to me. Nick Shirley does the same thing. I like Nick Shirley. I like what he does, but he does do the same thing. He's almost like Benny Johnson. Like, you know what Benny Johnson is going to say when Benny Johnson has something to say, right? Is Nick in the chat? Is he? That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. Answer. Nick, if you're in here, answer us. Answer Candace now. Do it here. Give me some breaking news. I'll change the title. Change the title of the video. Nick Shirley gives Candace Owens breaking news. Friend of the show. So he says everything that you're supposed to say when you're on the right, when you're a conservative person. She's going to get an answer back, and it's going to be that Andrew was live. Or she's not going to get an answer back, and Nick Shirley's just going to act like nothing ever happened, and he's just going to keep on moving on with his life and go into different gangland territories and just interviewing gang members. Now, this is what hit me when Candace said this. She said, you know, there's no chance this guy's actually interviewing these gang members. I was like, oh, come on. Isn't he? But then as she broke it down, I was kind of like, yeah, it's true. Like, you can't just walk up to gang members, especially in Brazil, and be like, hey, I just want to know what's going on. And then they say, sure. You know, that doesn't actually happen. Usually they blow your head off if you do that. I'm just, you know, it is a thing that they do. Usually they just go, hey, listen, your life's ending now. And that's it. And that's just how it goes, right? Or they take you, and the next thing you know, you're in front of a camera, and you're like, they've taken 3 of my fingers off, and they want $5 million. They want $5 million, please. That's you. It's usually one of those two things that happens. They don't usually just say, hey, come on in. Yeah, we'll show you. Want to see how we make it? Want to hold this? They don't usually do that. She is right about that. And it hurts. It hurts, you know? Because I like Nick. I like what he does. You know, and then it breaks my brain because I'm like, is the protest stuff real? Or is that fake too? You know? Because you can rent crowds. It goes deep. My mind goes deep right away. You can rent crowds. So is that stuff made up too? I don't know. But that would be the perfect way to position yourself as a solid person on the right. I'm not saying he's doing this, but I'm just saying, if you wanted to, you out there, you could easily rent a crowd. You could rent a protest. There are multiple companies that do this. In fact, One guy that actually owns one of those companies has been asking for me to interview him for months. For months. I get a message every few months saying, "Hey, would you interview this guy? Please interview this guy." I never do, because I don't know what we talk about. Because I'd be like, "You created a terrible company. You've done a terrible thing here." Maybe I should interview him and just tell him that. I don't know. But you can rent out a protest, a crowd. They could take pictures of you. They could protest. They could scream. They could do whatever you want, right? It's called rent a crowd. It's a real thing. It was discovered that celebrities actually use this service. So when a celebrity gets out of a car, instead of no one being there, and they're seeming like there's no lore, no popularity to this person, instead there's just a massive crowd, and they're taking pictures, and they're screaming, and they're saying, "Please sign this." You can have that service. I could do that to you. I could figure out where you're going to be, and I could hire that to happen to you, where a crowd comes around you and they start taking pictures and they go, "Oh my God, it's him. Oh my gosh." So is he doing that? Is he doing that when he's in Portland, or when he's in, one time he did one in Utah where that was happening, and it was a weird small crowd. It was weird. And they were like chasing him around. They were like, "You can't be here," and it just, oh, I hope that's not what's happening. I see so many people saying psyop. Oh, come on. Nick, come on. No, let there be real things in the world. Man, what can you do? But yeah, she seems right. Yeah, someone said Fugazi. Yeah, I get it. I don't know. But yeah, so that was one thing that really stood out to me in what Candace was saying, because I started thinking about it and I was like, man, maybe Nick is Fugazi. Then she tells me he's a part of the church. Then she doesn't mention it, or maybe she did mention it. I don't know. But Nick was supposed to be at the UVU, the Turning Point event where Charlie passed away. He was supposed to be there. Possibly even like talk with Charlie, maybe afterwards, maybe film and say, "Hey, what's going on here?" with a bunch of people, or maybe actually get on the box. I was gonna make a bad joke. Maybe get on the box where Charlie was and talk with Charlie a little bit. But then last minute, he was like, "Oh, I have to go to New York instead." And then he went to New York instead. Weird. Because it's weird because all he does is like go to these protests. So it's like, there's no shortage of protests. There's always going to be another one, right? You can go to this event with Charlie Kirk, talk to people who agree with him, get a different like view of things finally. And then you could go to New York after. There's always a protest in New York. I mean, come on. Weird to say the least, right? Kind of like Tracy Martin with her daughter, where she was like, "Listen, don't be traveling places with Charlie. I just had a bad feeling. Don't be traveling places with him." Or Erica. Don't go places with them. Keep doing your job, but don't go on location with them. I don't know. Odd stuff, man. But that was one of the things that really stood out for me. What did somebody say? Watch Nick Shirley. Watch Nick Shirley. He had a complete interview with Andrew about an hour before the bang bang. He is either the next Charlie or he's a Fed. That's what I was going to talk about next. Thank you for that super chat. I'll read that again when we're going through super chats. But that's what I was going to talk about next, is that people were talking about how he's being positioned to be the next Charlie. And a lot of people probably don't understand that when they hear that. But there is kind of this thing that's happening where you have to think about it, right? Like I've talked about this like a lot. Like the next Joe Rogan isn't going to be a guy who sits down and does interviews with people for 4 hours. That's not what the next Joe Rogan's going to look like, because that made sense in that temperature when Joe Rogan started. That became the thing that he did. But the next Joe Rogan that has that type of fame and that type of influence is going to be someone who does something different. It's probably going to be streaming. It's probably going to be someone who streams and does whatever streamers do. I know I'm streaming right now too, but it's probably going to be that. So the next Charlie isn't going to exactly be a guy who does debates and stands on stage and does that whole thing. The next Charlie will probably be what is seen as the most powerful thing or the new cool thing of today, right? So sitting in front of the camera and you're at a table and you're saying, hey, debate me or change my mind, all that stuff. That's like old school stuff. So the next Charlie's probably not going to do that. What would the next Charlie do? Well, he'd probably go to protest. He'd probably get spat on. He'd probably get pushed around. He'd probably get almost into martyrdom. He goes to these places, he gets shoved around. It's like, oh man, this is how they feel about us. This is what they do to us, guys. And then he'd probably give some speeches. That's why you see Nick in the White House and stuff like that. I have liked his work in the past. I have to admit, I'm not ready to say hoodwinked, but I will say hood. I'll say hood on this one. I will not say winked. I will not say winked until further notice. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, everybody ends up being just terrible at the end of the day, right? Oh, man. Everybody ends up being terrible. Let's see. What do I have here? Let me see this Candace clip that I have here, because I'm just doing a little recap of the episode.
We are ruled by cowards. Absolute cowards. That's what they do. They're like catty and they call you names. That's what they're going to do. Oh, he's betraying Charlie by telling the truth. If you think telling the truth betrays Charlie, you were never a friend of his. You were never a friend of his. If anything I said on the show got called and pulled over from the defense, I would stand by every word that I said. Okay? Every single word, because it's true. I told the truth. And if I found out later that it was not correct, I did my best to correct everything that I've said. I've been open to dialogue. I said, come here, sit down with me. No, you want to, it's so overwhelming. Why don't you come sit down on my show, Blake? Come on, Blakey, come sit down. If it's just so abundantly true and obvious, why wouldn't you want to come make me look like a fool on my own show? Right? Why wouldn't you want the platform to be able to speak to everybody and to say, here it is. Here's the evidence. I'll go back and forth with Candace, we don't even have to wait for the case because I want you to know that everything she's selling is she's just obsessed with the conspiracy. Come do that, Blake. Take me up on my offer, Blake. I don't understand why you wouldn't do this. You seem so stressed out. I don't know. I think am I wrong? If I had a position on something and I knew it wasn't true, I would go, yeah, I'd love to come on your show and explain how that's not true and you have it all wrong. Gri Blanco, second biggest comment, writes how
I'm telling you, Blake, I'm telling you, I know she's smiling when she says it. Her hair's down, right? She's calling you Blakey. You might even feel like in your head, like, oh, that's like a little nickname. And I know, but trust me, don't do it. Don't go on the show, Blakey. Blakey, don't go on the show. I'm telling you. I'm just telling you. They call me the Candace Whisperer. It's not going to be good. I'm just saying. She's the studio is in her house, in her basement. You're gonna walk into Candace's basement? Are you crazy, Blake? Blake, don't, okay? This is highly not advised. Not advised. Okay? I'm just saying. Anyway. Please hit that like button, guys. It helps tremendously. You have no idea. It helps so much. But yeah, I mean, what can we do here, man? Anyways, guys, let's go to the next clip that I had. What was the other clip I had?
I hope everybody's okay. I know it was very overwhelming. It was just so much, and it's amazing because Andrew says, like, I'm told it's a cascade. It's a whopper. By the way, whopper is usually subbed for the word lie. And I do want to remind you that I met with Erica just a couple of months ago, and Erica told me that she had no more evidence than the public had. But now Andrew is giving us an update and saying now they since then they have found so much evidence. It's going to be crazy. And he's just emotional considering that Joe Kent, if he does get called by the defense, he would say this true sentence, that he was stopped from investigating foreign leads. And that would it would all crumble overnight. Top comments from.
And that brings us over to Andrew Colvett, Joe Kent, Michael Shellenberger, all of these characters all coming together at once. Now, again, I'm not going to play the clip of Michael Shellenberger that's making me not trust him, because it's a Joe Rogan clip and Joe Rogan kind of goes off on him a little bit. Why am I tagged in something Daisy's tagged in? Listen, I'm not a researcher like Daisy is, okay? She's a professional. I'm not going to play that clip, but basically, here's the reason why it's hard for me to trust that guy. Right? When I see you, okay? When I see you talking about Jeff, you guys know Jeff Blank. You guys know Jeff Blank, right? When I see somebody and they are defending the people who were involved with him and trying to push back on the narrative that is very apparent since all of the 3 million files have been released, when I start seeing that, I question that person. And that's exactly what he was doing when he was sitting down with Joe. Joe's like, what? He's like, Joe even stopped and said, why are you being like this right now in this regard? Because Michael Shellenberger was like pushing back to the extent of like, oh, well, there's no proof of this. Oh, there's no proof of that. Like, yeah, no. There's no proof anybody did anything wrong. And like, saying all sorts of weird things. And when I saw that, whenever I see that in regards to that topic, to that island, I go, oh, I don't know. Someone has something on you. I don't know if it has anything to do with that type of stuff, but someone has something on you that you're going to start saying that type of stuff. And then literally, I don't know, he had Michael Shellenberger on maybe 5 days ago. And then 5 days later, you're on with Turning Point and you're making sure everybody understands what a bad guy Joe Kent is. I'm not saying Joe Kent is like this angel or this incredible person or whatever, but I do find it weird that you are now pushing this narrative after being the guy who pushes against every narrative, every official narrative. Like, if you don't know Michael Shellenberger, let me put him on the screen here. That's Michael Shellenberger with the Rachel Maddow glasses. You always know something's up once they have the Rachel Maddow glasses. I mean, from what I know, this guy hasn't needed glasses in the longest time, you know? So this is Michael Shellenberger. And he's sitting down with Joe and he's pushing back against that narrative. And before that, you could always find Michael Shellenberger taking any official narrative and really dissecting it, going very deep, and showing you what was really, really going on. He was always, in my mind, a trusted source. And to that, I say, hoodwinked. This guy. Anyway, because now he's doing the exact opposite. He's going along with the official narrative. I've never seen this guy go along with an official narrative before. And the two that he goes along with are that Joe Kent's a bad guy and that island wasn't all that bad. That's enough for me. That's enough for me. That made me mistrust him. Now, obviously, I'm still going to show you him talking about this whole thing, of course. I'm not going to say, hey, you don't get to see this guy now. We don't gatekeep the information here. But I do want to tell you where I'm coming from as you hear me talk about all this, because I think that's important. You know, I don't do many things professionally, but that's the thing that I tend to always focus on. It's this, so you guys understand where I'm coming from, you know, a little bit. Yeah, I always say you can be biased because everybody has bias, but you shouldn't be blind. So I'm not blind to my own bias, and I like people to know where my bias is. And in me seeing that on Joe Rogan, I have formed a bias where I'm like, I don't know if I trust this guy. And then along with this interview as well, that's just where I'm at. Anyway, let's get into it.
Welcome to the show, Michael. It's great to have you. Thank you for we talked this morning after your story broke, and boy, oh boy, this is a big one. And you interviewed Joe Kent, and so I'll let you say it in your own words. What did he tell you?
Hey, thanks for having me on, Andrew, inviting me on. Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty big news. Joe Kent, of course, the former director of the National Counterterrorism Center, has been saying for the last week that he thinks that that he doesn't buy the lone shooter theory of the assassination of Charlie Kirk. He suspects there's a foreign nexus, was the words he used, involved in that assassination. He said that the FBI prevented him from investigating it, and that he viewed that as suspicious. And if there was nothing there, he told me, then Why did they prevent him from investigating it? I asked him if he was aware before he went public last week that Tyler Robinson, the suspected assassin of Charlie Kirk, that his defense attorneys might actually call Kent to the witness stand to argue that that Robinson could not be convicted because the prosecutors had not given them all the information they had available to them. That's something known as the Brady Rule, named after a Supreme Court decision, I believe, in the 1960s. But nonetheless, most people are familiar with it from television, which is that the prosecutors can't deny, federal government can't deny, the government can't deny the defense any information. And Kent is saying that there is information, and that the investigation itself was inadequate, and that I spoke to a constitutional legal scholar yesterday who said it would be a no-brainer for the defense attorneys now for Robinson to use Kent's statements as a way to gain an advantage, or potentially a hung jury or a mistrial or something of that nature. So it's pretty serious for people that are interested in seeing justice served with the assassination of Charlie Kirk.
Well, listen, Michael.
So just so you guys understand, what you saw with Candace yesterday, if you guys were watching, if you saw Andrew Colvett talking about how upset he is, Blake talking about how upset he is, how they're mad, and Andrew said, my betrayal, I feel dramatic and extreme. This is where it comes from. So they had this conversation with Michael Shellenberger. They learned this information, and then they got all ticked off. Okay, that's how all that happened. I just have to interject for a second here. We have some breaking news. Guys. I just want to make sure everybody knows about this. It just happened. Here, guys.
No grieving, just grifting over here. Whoo! No grieving, just grifting over here. Whoo!
I mean, what can I say, guys? I'm sorry. Had to show it to you guys. Had to. What was I supposed to do? Not inform you guys about that? Huh? That's not what we do on this show. We tackle the hard-hitting stuff here. So just had to make sure you saw that. That was made by Crystal Smallin, master meme maker, friend of the show, of course. And I don't even know if it was made. I mean, that could have just been something that just happened now. I don't know. I mean, I'll keep you guys informed as that story develops. Someone gave Blake the sparkles. What are we to do now that Blake has the sparkles? I don't know what's gonna happen from here on out. I mean, man. So, listen, I'm sorry to show that to you guys. I know some of you guys had high hopes that he would just be in his regular dress, but we're just that's where we're at with it, right? Anyway, let's keep going here. What do we have next? We have another clip here. I just want to give you just the highlights of their sit down really quick. It's 18 minutes, but I'm not going to show you guys the full 18 minutes.
Exposing some of the craziness and the zaniness behind the transgender radical trans ideology. So I just wanted to give you some bona fides there.
Thank you. Yeah, obviously it's a big issue, and I think many Americans felt that they didn't need to pay attention to the issue at all. But now we've seen trans-identified people engaged in shootings, obviously, or maybe not obviously, probably obviously to your audience. It was the last thing that Charlie Kirk was talking about before he was assassinated. It appears as though the evidence that Tyler Robinson committed that assassination is pretty overwhelming. And to be fair to Joe Kent, he didn't dispute that. What he's raising here is that there may be some broader conspiracy, and there's not a lot of evidence for that. And but nonetheless, because Kent is such an important voice, he could easily be used by the defense attorneys. I did directly ask him repeatedly that, given that his agency is an intelligence gathering, or really an intelligence synthesizing and coordinating agency, as part of the broader coordinating intelligence mission of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, he didn't have the authorities to do a law enforcement investigation. It was FBI investigation. And didn't he sort of need to trust that his colleagues at the FBI and elsewhere, and also with the Utah police, law enforcement, at some point, you can pass along a tip or an idea, but don't you at some point have to sort of trust, unless you have other evidence, and I asked him if he had other evidence, of some sort of corruption or conspiracy, and he said he didn't. So it kind of raises the question of, what is this sort of based on? Because I think it's worth pointing out to people that the restrictions on Kent's authority to investigate the Kirk murder are not arbitrary. It's not something that Director Kash Patel, whatever you think of him, sort of invented as a way to stymie a proper investigation. Those restrictions on investigative power are what protect us as citizens. It's written into our Constitution. It's part of our Lockean system of government. And I think we saw those. We saw the intelligence community abuse those powers to create the Russiagate hoax. The Russiagate conspiracy hoax. So, and it's not just that. I mean, we can go through. That wasn't the first time the intelligence community had abused its powers. But when you go through, so the restrictions on Kent that I think for people that maybe haven't thought about it a lot or haven't that aren't familiar with the intricacies of why these laws exist, I think it's important context. Like, these laws are not there to prevent a thorough investigation or to cover up things, and it certainly wasn't a subjective determination by the FBI director. It's written into laws, and those laws are there, first and foremost to protect us, obviously, but obviously part of the process of protecting innocent civilians is also to make sure that you get the guilty party. And
so this is where he's being very dishonest. So he's basically, he's throwing out the keywords. We've seen people abuse this, things of that nature. What was done to Kent was not something that was just like above board. If it was just the law and it was made to protect citizens, then Tulsi, Joe Kent, J.D. Vance, Kash Patel wouldn't have to all sit down together and have the conversation that they did. This has already been verified. This has been verified. Joe Kent talks about being blocked. He's talked about it on Tucker as well. He's talked about it on Megyn as well. He'll talk about it in the next interview that he does. I thought he was going to do Candace, but I'm not sure if that's happening. But they wouldn't have had to have that conversation because they would have just been like, hey, Joe, you're violating the law. And that would have been it. That would have been the conversation, but that wasn't the conversation, right? So what he's doing right now is throwing up something that is very dishonest. And he's almost alluding to Joe Kent potentially trying to abuse his power by looking into this whole thing. He was not abusing his power. He even says there were some leads that we had to run down. He goes, we did get to run down some, but there was still more. There was unfinished work running down some leads. And he didn't even want to mention what place, what foreign nation could have been involved. But for him to now act, this Michael Shellenberger character, to act like, well, I mean, this is put in place to protect us, then brings up the key word, the key red meat for anybody who is just like firmly on the right of, well, the Russian dossier, like that's how the whole Russiagate thing started. You don't want another one of those, right? I mean, I think Joe Kent would have, he could have started something like that. I mean, it's very interesting. You're throwing out all the key terms that people on the right are going to be like, yeah, that Joe Kent guy's evil. That's what you're trying to throw out there. It's not working here, though. Anyway. Also, it's very interesting that they're redoing this. This is why I always think there's like some kind of incentive, right? I always think there's some kind of incentive because he had his own interview with Joe Kent, fine. But Tucker already had his own interview with Joe Kent. So it's interesting that Tucker is very much just somebody who like kind of lets people talk. He'll ask questions. He'll state his opinion clearly. You can see what side of things he's on. But he kind of lets people just talk and get their stuff out, right? That was the whole notion of his podcast, doing the 2-hour sit down interview thing. But now all of a sudden they're redoing it and they're kind of trying to rewrite history. Right? Joe Kent already talked about all of this. He already broke all of this down. He already said, like I just said to you guys, that there was more leads to run down, that they needed to run down more things. And now all of a sudden this guy does this interview. He's aligned with Turning Point. And now he's saying, well, you know, there's actually laws in place. So you can't actually be doing stuff like this. That's not true. That is not true. Joe Kent is supposed to go into active investigations and help by figuring out if there's any foreign ties. So while your investigation's going on, Joe Kent comes in and says, let's see some of these documents so I can figure out if there's any foreign ties to this whole thing. And if there is, I bring it to your active investigation and I say, here you go. Here's some more for you guys to run down. That's what he does. So to act like there's laws in place in front of that so he can't do that, as if there would be some kind of abuse of power, is nonsense. Absolute nonsense. But we'll keep going.
Aware of that. He said he wasn't like volunteering to testify, but he said he was aware that he might be asked to investigate. And like I said, I think if I'd be shocked if Robinson's attorneys don't use this.
Well, of course.
And
yeah, this is the obvious result of this, is that he's doing this PR tour. And
that's what infuriates me, is he's like endlessly, he's like someone who's vague posting on Facebook where he's like, ooh, there's things I might know. People should know I might.
But I can't
there's
tell you
weird
what
things,
those
but
are.
I can't go on the record with this reporter that I'm talking to. I can't, like,
It's just
state what you
fueling-
actually think
yeah.
happened. If you want to do that, you can at least argue with him. But like this endless appeal to, well, I had this senior job. I saw things everywhere. Like, I'm sick and tired of seeing this. And I always see it from the same people who are maximally conspiratorial.
Here's what I
Maximally conspiratorial. I'm thick and tired. Maximally conspiratorial. It's getting zesty. It's getting a little zesty. I kind of understand why people are throwing him in this whole thing. Somebody picked up on the zestiness before I did. Good on you. Good on you picking up on that. Kyle there says this guy Colvette shockingly dishonest. Then again, he is using his friend's name to have broadcasting relevance. That really needs to stop. They should just have a Turning Point show. Charlie Kirk show should be retired. I've said it 100 times. It should just be compilations of Charlie speeches. That's it. That's what it should be every single day, all day. There's enough content to do it. There's enough content to do it for years. And then just stop. And then one day have the sweet, amazing moment of his son sitting down in the chair and saying, I'm starting the show, or his daughter. And that would be just the sweetest thing. Instead of having Blake being like, I'm thick and tired of all of this stuff going on. It's like, what's going on here? What is this? You know, and to speak on what Blake just said about him being kind of conspiratorial or alluding to things, not being able to say things. I feel like in the Tucker Carlson interview, Joe Kent was pretty clear. He was like, I don't think it's this nation. He's like, I'm not sure if it's this nation, but we did have more leads, and I'm not allowed to say what the leads were. That makes sense. He's not allowed to just say, you could say what you think. Sure, he can say what he thinks, but in his resignation letter, he's pretty clear on what he thought. He was telling Trump, he was telling the president, hey, listen, don't like the way that the war is going. Don't think that this should be happening. You have a great positioning. You're great at, leveraging incentives. Like, he complimented him. He said he didn't like what was happening. Like, he was very good, very balanced in his resignation. But he was very clear on what he thought in regards to the war. And he's been very clear about what he thinks in regards to what happened with Charlie. And the end result of that is that he thinks, or he knows for a fact, that there was more leads for him and his team to run down. So to act like as if he's like vague posting, he's not vague posting. He's being like, well, what can I say? I'm not allowed to say it. I can't say exactly what we were doing. You're talking to a guy that was in like a classified CIA team. He's not going to say things he's not supposed to say. He might stand up for what he believes is right and, make a move that way. But he's definitely not just going to be like, let me just tell you guys everything I just saw. They're already about to indict this guy. You think he's going to go ahead and say that? Maybe if they indict him, he will say that. I don't know. But they're very dishonest coming from these two, I have to say.
Shortly after Tyler Robinson's arrest, the prosecutors released a probable cause affidavit detailing the evidence gathered immediately after Charlie's assassination. The evidence presented at that time was overwhelming. But people also need to remember this. In the months that have followed, we know the investigation has continued. More details will come out in May when the assassin has a probable cause hearing, and we are certain there will be even more evidence submitted against Tyler Robinson by the state. And that's so the frustration here, Michael, is that we have this vacuum, this void that's been created where the investigation is kind of still ongoing. They're still gathering it, getting it presentable for this May probable cause hearing, but the internet never stops. And Joe Kent resigned when he did, and now he's doing this PR tour. And it really does, and I want to get this through the audience's head, this really does have a potential to not only taint a jury pool, but to undermine the very prosecution of Tyler Robinson, who I am 100% convinced pulled the trigger and killed Charlie Kirk. Could you just speak to that?
Can you just repeat what I just said? I'm the guy who's supposed to just be on this show. I'm Charlie's friend. I just need you, who's in an authority position, to just pretty much repeat what I just said. Can you please do that for me, Michael?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think, the first thing that's just worth acknowledging is that, the American people, all of us have seen, real world conspiracies exposed. And I mean, by conspiracies, illegal secret activity by the government. Russiagate collusion hoax is the most famous. We uncovered a censorship industrial complex whereby government officials working with, intelligence community officials or recently departed intelligence community officials pressured social media companies to engage in mass censorship. We saw a cover-up of the science of COVID's origins, almost certainly in a laboratory in China. So I think Americans are, and that's not even to get into, other spectacular potential conspiracies like JFK or UAP.
We've been on all of that stuff as well, Michael. The conspiracy theorists have been proven right about a lot, but that was before you had people that Charlie helped get in these positions in the first place, as part of the investigative arm. Anyways, I'm sorry, I cut you off. Please.
This is nonsense. So it's like, well, I mean, Charlie got all these people in office, and all these people are super honest. I mean, Charlie got the best politicians. Like, I get it. Charlie's great, but politicians are politicians. I think Kash Patel beyond anybody else in the admin has proven that. I mean, people can even argue the president himself has proven that. Politicians are going to be politicians. No matter what. That's what they end up being. What can you do? I don't know, man. It's absolutely crazy to see this, what they're doing here. So that is why they were so pissed off or they were trying to at least mirror people who were pissed off. They were trying to show emotion the best that they could. But I mean, again, Joe Kent testifying, Candace has said it. I'm sure Barron's even touched on it. The fact that he is going to just say what happened and it's just going to be him saying the truth, that's not a big deal. Especially when you have a mountain of evidence. When you have a mountain of evidence that is just larger than the crowd of people who watched your Super Bowl halftime show. I mean, when you have this mountain of evidence that is just enough evidence to fill up the entire courtyard where Charlie Kirk passed away. When you have this crazy mountain of evidence, more sheets of evidence than Erica Kirk has glitter. I mean, when you have this massive amount of evidence, who cares what Joe Kent has to say? What does it matter? If it's going to be a Whopper, if it's going to be a double Whopper with cheese and bacon, heavy all, extra mayonnaise, please, then what's the big deal? I don't get it. Who cares? Let Joe Kent say whatever he wants. Let them have Candace on. If they have this crazy evidence that's just going to be like undeniable, doesn't matter what somebody says on the other side. That's how it should be, at least. And I mean, who doesn't like a double Whopper with cheese and bacon? You know what I mean? Double Whopper with cheese and bacon handed to you by Kash Patel, so there's just a little hint of honey on that. Oh, who's gonna care what Joe Ken has to say? Anyway, here, let me help you out there, guys. Here, boom. Sometimes I'm in the chat. I'm like bang, 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 bang. I don't know if Kash Patel is an enthusiast of that stuff, like someone just said in the chat. I don't know if that's true. Seems like it, but I have no idea. I mean, you know, crazier things have happened, especially, again, with politics. He is a politician. I mean, you know, it's not like he's like an outsider, right? We all positioned him like he was an outsider. Those of us that were cheering him on, I was one of those people. I did position him like he was an outsider when I was making videos about him. But he wasn't an outsider. He's been on the inside for a very long time. And he was on the inside in regards to like one of those like deep state figures that like doesn't go away and is just kind of in the background and positions that you don't really know about and don't care about and don't vote on. He's always been in those types of positions. I just thought it was different, man. You know, marketing's everything. They the men filling spots, those confirmation spots. It was like the Super Bowl. It was like the draft. It was like the NBA draft. It was nuts. They were just rolling out name after name. They're like, and next we got Tulsi Gabbard. And Tulsi came out. There's pyrotechnics going off everywhere. American flags waving in the air. Huge flags. And she was coming out. DNI. I didn't even know what a DNI was. And I was like, let's go. Let's go. And next, ladies and gentlemen, we have RFK Jr. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. You and your friend are grabbing each other. You're like, this is crazy. This is crazy. They're going to save the country. You know? That's how it was. It was like the Super Bowl. It was crazy. They were like, next we have Pete Hegseth. I was like, I don't even know who that is. Oh my God. Is he a patriot? He has a cross tattooed on his chest. Oh my God. He has tattoos. He has We the People tattooed on his arm. Oh my God. This is going to be amazing. We are so back. Oh yeah. That was me all day. All day. Like a moron, you know? Oh, like a moron. Oh, so silly. So ridiculous. I was like, they're all going to get arrested. They're all getting arrested. You'll see. You'll see. We're going to trust the plan. They're all going to get arrested. It's going to be great. Ridiculous. Laughing tears, crying tears at the same time. It was, man. It was like a huge event. It was a huge event. They got me with the glitz and glamour. And then all of a sudden they did the same thing with Charlie. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? They were like, next in this Charlie Kirk memorial, let's go give it up for JD Vance. Jets flying over him, firecrackers everywhere. And I was like, this seems kind of effed up. What's going on here? I woke me up, shook me awake. I was like, wait a second. The fuck? Wait, hold on a minute. I was like, what is going on right now? Next on the stage, we have Andrew Cole Vet. And I was like, oh, Andrew Cole Vet. I'm like, hold on a second. Why is everybody cheering at this memorial? This stuff is crazy. Why is everybody clapping? What? Why are there people? Why is there a whole stadium for this memorial? Where's the body? Hold on a second. What is this? You got me, man. You got me. I was like, what is this? And next we have the president and still the U.S. President of the United States of America. I was like, I don't know about all this. This is kind of crazy right now. And then Erica Kirk threw up that hand sign, and I was like, what the fuck? Was that a Masonic hand sign? Hold on a second. The hell am I watching right now? Why is everything red? Why is everything red and there's fire everywhere? Hold on a second. They got me, man. They got me. Oh my gosh. You know? They just kept bringing out name after name. I'm like, Marco Rubio. I'm like, why is the whole administration here? Where's his mom and dad? I thought his mom, wasn't his dad? Who's giving the eulogy? Are these eulogies? What's happening right now? I've been to a few funerals. Okay? All types of funerals. I don't remember seeing anything like this. I was like, hold on a second. This stuff is weird. It's making me uncomfortable. Then Erica's like, let me forgive him. I was like, oh, this is some. Oh, they got me. Oh, did they get me? They got me, man. The event of the century. Welcome to the event of the century. Charlie Kirk's memorial. I was like, who is that guy talking? Where is he? I mean, it was crazy. All they were missing was dancers. Just dancers wearing Charlie Kirk masks coming out. That's all they were missing. That would have sent me off the edge, boy. that would have sent me off the edge. That would have been enough for me. I'm done. Then she threw up that hand sign. I was like, you Illuminati sons of bit. They got me. She threw it up. She threw her hand up in the air. I was like, I've been researching this stuff since I was 15 years old. That don't mean I love you. She was just on the microphone for how long? She could have said I love you to everybody right there. Now she's throwing up the hand sign while this guy's hugging her. And this guy's making this face. You ever seen the face he was making? He hugs her and he goes, like what? That's the type of face my friend makes when he's bagged some chick and he doesn't want the chick. And he looks at me and he goes, yeah, I'ma get her. I got her, bro. That's the type of face he's making. I'm like, what the hell's going on here? Can't question it though. You know? Crazy if you question it though. So I didn't. Even saw a guy who was carrying a cross. The cross had wheels on it, waving to people. I was like, what type of what is going on? Where's the body? Do we get to see the body? I'm not a morbid person, but it's just usually how it goes. Does everybody get to see it? Him? And look? Right? Isn't that how this works? Where was it? It's just not there, and that's it. I don't know, guys. I don't know. It's crazy. It doesn't make any sense. I was dumbfounded. I tried to watch it 4 times. I was like, this is getting crazy. You know? Why is Marco Rubio there? What's happening right now? Marco Rubio? Look, I got no problem with the guy. He doesn't seem like he should be at an event like that. No friends? Where are all the friends? Even Tucker Carlson was there. Well, I think what happened with Charlie is like what happened with Jesus. And we all know who killed Jesus. I was like, what is happening here? I was like, that's a pretty good line. But what's happening here? What is this? Is this a memorial or not? My mom's old. She's constantly watching funerals. People in Barbados that she grew up with. They're on YouTube now. I mean, I didn't even know that was a thing. They live stream them now. I've seen her watch many memorials. I've never seen anything like this. And no one was crying. Mikey McCoy was smiling ear to ear. What's going on? What happened? I mean, I'm just saying. I got way off topic. I'm sorry. Really sorry about that, everybody. It was just so crazy. I mean, just recounting it in my head. That hug? What are you doing? Are you the pret? What are you doing? Knew her before in the pageant world? What does that mean now? That hug looks different when you realize that they knew each other in the pageant world. It was a wild hug, you know? And now you know what the pageant world's connected to and everything. That's a crazy hug. That's an out of control hug. My wife would leave me if I hug somebody like that. I hug somebody like this. What? I have some explaining to do. Next on stage, Mikey McCoy. Mikey McCoy gets up there. What's going on, guys? What's going on, everybody? Is this not the best memorial you guys have ever been to? What's happening right now? Elon Musk just standing there like, Well, if I wasn't in those emails, I would do something to all these people. But I'm in the emails, so I can't say anything. Just watching. Why didn't Elon get on stage? Do some salutes. You know, the Elon salute. Why did he get on stage? The whole thing was crazy, man. The whole thing was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I don't get it. I still don't get it. I'm not going back and watching it. I'm just saying. Where was the body? Isn't that how it goes? Everybody looks at the body. Am I wrong? I don't know, man. I guess everybody does it. Everybody does it differently, right? Everybody does it differently, you know? I guess. I don't know. Sorry about that. That was like a big detour in the podcast. Apologize for that. It was crazy. The whole thing was crazy, you know? Then some random guy, I did a video on him. He was pissed off. This guy, Skyler, some dude from the LDS church. He gets in there. How did he get in there? He's like on the bottom floor, like alongside Elon Musk and all sorts of stuff like that. How is he in there? He's just there watching. A lot of churchgoers in the crowd. I was like, what is happening, man? Marco Rubio there. Hello, everybody. Are you guys having a damn good time? You're like, what the when does Marco yell like this? It was WWE. It was WWE. I'm surprised Pete Hegseth didn't get up there and just be like, oh, yeah. We're here at the memorial and we're having a good time. Oh, yeah. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to take the belt from the left and we're going to wear it on the right. Oh, yeah. Trump, the president, gets on stage like he's Hulk Hogan. And when we come together, brother, You know? What those wrestlers used to call themselves? NWO? Yeah. So it seems like. I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know. I haven't given it much thought, as you can see. Anyway, let's keep on going here. It was like 40 minutes just acting stuff out there. My apologies, guys. My apologies. Anyway. I mean, it doesn't seem crazy to anyone else. Anyway, what were we talking about before anyway? Tyler Robinson's boyfriend, friends. He told his boyfriend's friends, parents, he was murdered. He murdered Charlie Kirk. Joe Kent, I'll testify on his behalf. Yeah, that's how that works. If you're asked to, right? That's how it's supposed to be. Blake Neff was getting called out for this. He said he confessed to his parents, was turned in by them. His DNA's all over the weapon. Some people are obsessed with hating. What? Same thing they're obsessed with literally every day. See, this is the nonsense, right? He's saying they're obsessed with Philadelphia. That's why they feel this way, right? I've seen this act too many times where they're trying to pull off the whole thing of the only reason you feel this way is because you're a hateful person. The only reason you're questioning this narrative is because you're a hateful person. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's ridiculous, dumb nonsense. You know? Zach Costello, why not just interview Joe Kent, Andrew? He was your trusted source whom you passed the message thread along to. Just bring him on. I agree. Why not just bring him on? You know why? Because he won't say the things that Michael Shellenberger's saying. There's a reason Michael Shellenberger doesn't just go, well, I can just show you the whole interview. Here you go. Turning Point. You have all the rights reserved. You can show it on your YouTube channel. Thanks so much. He could just do that. They're not doing that because they're making sure that Shellenberger is giving these quotes. You know? Shellenberger. That just came to mind. I have no bit for it or anything. Just Shellenberger. It's a funny name. Because he's saying these exact points. They need him to say these exact points. Otherwise, Joe Kent comes on and Joe Kent makes a solid argument. And the next thing you know, after Joe Kent makes a solid argument, Andrew has no place to go. All Andrew would be able to say, and Blake, is, hey, man, come on. We want to see Tyler Robinson die. What are you doing this for? And Joe Kent would be like, I've seen a lot of people die. You know that? My wife died. You know that? 11 times, 11 combat deployments. I've seen a lot of people go. I've been in classified units, son. Big jawline on him. Been in classified units, son. I've seen a lot of people pass away. People that look like you, people that look like me, people that look like foreigners. You ever held somebody, huh? You ever had to walk away like Mikey McCoy when your friend gets hit, huh? You ever had to do that? Me neither, because that's insane behavior. Just joking. This lady put up a pretty interesting little breakdown here in replying to Blake. In reply to Blake saying that Tyler confessed and his DNA is all over the weapon, she said, Tyler Robinson, and this is odd. Who is this lady? I have to look into this lady. Oh, she follows. Okay. And I follow her? I guess I do. All right. I got to look into her more. Tyler Robinson did not confess to his parents. As someone who's spoken directly to a family member inside the courtroom, I can tell you this. They said about 2% of what you hear in the media about Tyler, they said about 2% of what you hear in the media about Tyler is true. So just 2% of it. His family refuses to talk to the press because everything gets misconstrued. They also said Tyler is not capable of something like this. Ask yourself, does this sound like a family that would turn him in? Also, it's interesting that the footage of them turning him in is now missing or deleted, right? So, as you can probably tell, Blake did not answer back to that. Blake is not the type to answer back to such a thing like that. Yeah. Just like he doesn't answer back to Candace. But he answered back to Barron. I don't know. I don't know what that says. I think he wasn't afraid of Barron, and then all of a sudden Barron's like an attorney, and he's able to like write really well because he's like Paul Harvey, and he's Paul Harvey and Columbo mixed into one. And then he realized like, oh, I got ambushed. I shouldn't have answered this Barron person. So it seems like he never has again. But you know, you live and learn. I guess. But this person here is just saying all of that they talked to somebody, a family member in the courtroom. I can't wait to see what pops up in May. I can't wait. Because I'm not in the boat of Tyler Robinson should just walk because I don't like the way Turning Point has been handling things, or I don't like the way Erica has appeared. I'm not going to be in that boat. I think whatever should happen, if he is guilty, if there is this absolutely Mount Everest, Grand Canyon filling amounts of evidence that there's said to be. Whoppers with cheese and onion rings and bacon. I'm so hungry on this new lifestyle change. I dreamt about pizza yesterday. Would you? And I don't mean I'm not talking about weirdo pizza. I'm talking about real slight, like, actual. I was with Gordon Ramsay and we were in a pizza shop and I said, "Will you eat this with me?" And he said yes, and then we didn't because I was like, "I'm on a diet. I can't do it." And then he like called me names and then we left. And then there was raw chicken on a doorway, and I was like, I can't touch the raw chicken. It's gross. Like, we can't do that. Like, something could happen to us. We'll get sick. And he was like, "I don't care." And he walked through. It was a real dream I had. It's really weird. It was a real dream. I can't tell you what it was about. It made no sense to me. But yeah, it's carbs. That's what it is, really. But I'm having carbs, but they're not the good carbs. You know what I mean? Like, you can have carbs like in oatmeal, or you can have carbs in like hamburgers. You know what I mean? Double Big Macs. You know what I'm talking about? A double Big Mac with a cheeseburger in between. A double Big Mac. You know what I mean? Like, there's different types of carb. A cinnamon bun. I want a cinnamon bun. Anyway. Shouldn't even talk about it. Anyway. And my weight didn't move yesterday. What's the point? Anyway, whatever. I'll be ripped. I'll be ripped soon. My buddy's wedding's coming up, so I got to get in shape. People from high school I'll see. I can't, be all milk baggy. I can't be all milk baggy. Can't be like a bag of chocolate milk. Can't be like a bag of mint chocolate milk in front of all those people. So I gotta whip myself into shape. Anyway. And it's a Philadelphian wedding, so I got to give him a gift. He wants like $5,000 as a gift because that's how they are. But he's my friend. He's probably watching. Don't call me if you're watching. You effing guy always calls me when he's watching the show. He knows. The actions of Joe Kent, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, either through direct action or inaction, or disgusting. Every coward that was Charlie's friend. You are scum for staying silent. The pain and suffering you have brought on Erica is abhorrent. That is Graham. That is Graham saying the quiet part out loud. Whether it is in action, direct action, or inaction. So basically what he's saying is, because you're not going along with the groupthink, because you're either taking an action that the group doesn't like, or you're not doing an action that the group doesn't like. He's saying there is a group of us and that you have to march along with the group or else. Graham Allen definitely wants to be at the next memorial. Who knows who it's going to be, He wants to definitely be on the stage of the next memorial. Announcing Graham Allen. Comes out. And then we have Josh Hammer here. Josh Hammer making false accusations about everybody that's involved. He's saying Tulsi Gabbard is anti-Philadelphia. He's making that claim because Tulsi hasn't stepped out and condemned Joe Kent and his resignation. Hasn't came forward and said Joe Kent is a liar, he's a leaker, etc., etc. So now she's under fire because of that indirect action. That indirect action of not saying something. So now she's under fire. But I'll talk about that more as the story develops. We'll see what Tulsi actually say about that. The last thing I just want to touch on quickly is the fact that Adam, let me tell you something, okay? Not a friend of the show, okay? Just really clear. Not a friend of the show. He's the worst. He's the worst. Absolutely the worst. Not a friend of the show. Dave Smith, friend of the show. Even Pierce Morgan, friend of the show. But apparently they had a debate, and apparently it's just like a body bag. Pierce Morgan just came with a body bag and said, here it is. Would you like a toe tag, Adam? Adam, what kind of toe tag would you like? Would you like a toe tag, red or blue? Is it any color you'd like? Match your suit, perhaps? So Dave Smith just like slaughtered this guy, apparently. I'll show you this. I'm going to go through the whole debate and maybe bring you guys some highlights afterwards, but Adam couldn't hold up. It was crazy.
Circles around you on this, dude. Check the scoreboard. Most unpopular war in American history going in. Check the scoreboard. 13 dead Americans, millions of innocent people being displaced.
You have the luxury of sitting in your little studio with your hooded sweater like you're 17 years old.
I have a wife and children. Who depends on you, Adam? Your mom?
Okay, I also have a...
Your mom?
Okay, I also have a...
Your mom? Your mom?
Okay, I also have a significant...
I mean, apparently it was just a crazy, crazy go. So I can't wait to see that. I don't like watching Pierce Morgan debates often, but good God, am I going to catch that one. Adam is just... He used to have morals, Adam. That's what somebody says in the chat. I've never seen them. I've never seen them once. I think what you're thinking of in terms of Adam having morals at one point, what you're thinking of is the fact that he didn't let his mask fall. Years ago, there was no mask falling. It was the Biden admin. There wasn't much, but now it's a little different. You know, he's in that hour 3 of his... Yeah, I know. He said significant other. Somebody says, is he in the closet? I don't know why he says significant other. It's a very odd thing to say. You know, you say your girlfriend, you say your wife. But Adam's mask has fell. That's exactly what you're seeing. So now it seems like he doesn't have morals now, but he's been this way the whole time. It was just easier to hide it when nobody was speaking about Philadelphia. Right? When nobody was bringing that up, it's very easy to just, you know, seem like you have morals, hide in plain sight. But now that people are actually going at him, going at that, I should say, going at that place in the Middle East, that small place that's never done anything wrong. Now that that's happening, his mask is dropped, you know. Yeah, Dave Smith saying your mom, just completely uncalled for. I mean, such a comedian thing to say. Dave Smith, when he was like, I'm a political commentator, then he heard something and just went, screw it. I'm a comedian. Your mom. How about that? How about that? I mean, that's just uncalled for. I mean, very called for because it's Adam and he deserves it, but good Lord. You know, just hitting him over the head with the your mom joke. Good gosh. Somebody showed me, Nick Shirley said he was back in New York. I'm going to get to the super chats now. Back in New York, I wonder where this fits in the timeline. And then he has a picture with Charlie Kirk, or of Charlie Kirk's text messages. Charlie Kirk says, wow, can I get you on the show on Thursday? Seeing your stuff. Doesn't say the actual date, though. Yeah, I'm not seeing the date here. Then Nick says, I'll be filming in, and it's blanked out. I'm available tomorrow, and then the rest is blanked out. I don't know where that would fit in the timeline at all, but we're going to wait to hear if anybody responds to Candace. I really doubt that this is going to happen. Let me see. Remembering Charlie sharing again. Very, very important. This doesn't get buried. Why did he delete this video? I'll get to that tomorrow. I have a understanding of that. One of M's theories. M, friend of the show. But I'll get to that tomorrow. Somebody shared something with me on here. I'll bookmark it. Someone shared something with me on X. I will make sure to get to that tomorrow. You know. Anyway, let's see here. Anyway, just seeing if anything developed. Doesn't seem like anything has sparked up recently. Tim Pool saying garbage, as usual. You know, people are talking about somebody being a honeypot. I don't know who they could be talking about, honestly. That could be anybody. I mean, you know, definitely couldn't be a country music sensation. Definitely couldn't be that. Just wanted to see if there's any breaking news. I think we're good, guys. Let's jump into these. Let's go. Man. I got to do that memorial bit on stage. Charlie Kirk memorial. I got to do that on stage, man. That's a good thing with the wrestler, with the wrestling commentator, the monster truck commentator. Live, the Charlie Kirk memorial, the event of the century, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I got to do that one on stage. That's a good one. Keith 89 Tank. In line with last night's show, look into ancient Egyptian artifacts found in now restricted area of Grand Canyon. Also cave in Illinois. Very interesting. Yeah. Oh man, where's my pen? I don't have my pen here, but I know exactly what you're talking. I have to actually write that down. You're right. You're 100% right. The wife would like that one too. Grand Canyon, ancient artifacts and caves. This person's talking about the members show, I believe, because there's some weird stuff in the Grand Canyon. Some weird restricted areas in the Grand Canyon. We talk about weird stuff in the members, you know. We break away from the investigation, from the Candace stuff, and the Charlie stuff. We break away from all that stuff, and we just get into some weird iceberg territory. It's very interesting. Naughty thing, I can do push-ups while doing sit-ups. Oh, well, yeah. I can't. I can barely do push-ups. I got like maybe 20 in me. 20. It used to be like 50. I mean, come on. What are you flexing for like that on us? I stole my husband's G. Welcome to the crew. Can't wait to see you next week. Right after Candace. GFs, ins, 12s. Actually, if Cash Patel's girlfriend is Mossad, then Candace Owens is Team USA, and then technically Candace is a foreign agent from their perspective. Not just fighting for our greatest ally, which our greatest ally, no likey. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that would make sense. You know, a foreign agent, depending on like what side of things you're looking at, right? I don't know, man. So ridiculous in my opinion. Welcome to the crew, Shannon to Alaska. Are you in Alaska, Shannon? Jeez. Why? Heather, also known as Rachel. Morning, Mint Daddy crew. Hump day. Happy hump day. Hit that like button on your way in. Yes, please do. Please do, guys. Always hit that like button. It helps the channel tremendously. Ontario lady again. Coffee addicted. I think it's coffee addicted mama, I'm going to assume. That name, okay, fine. Tajana Sikik would be a great source for you. She is extremely knowledgeable. Please be our Canadian Candace. I'm coming close to it. There's been a few people trying to argue with me. Like, Canada's completely fine. What are you talking about? Bro, you think I don't know gas is at 170 in Canada? For anybody who needs a translation in that, that means gas is almost $7. Okay? And that's up from, I don't know, 4 weeks ago. Maybe, yeah, like 4 weeks ago when it was 118, which would then transfer into like under $5, like you know, $4.50. I mean, what are we talking about? It's almost it's so crazy. It's so crazy. And they're arguing. Man, there's some people in Canada that they just want it to be that way. They love it, and they don't want to feel like they're doing worse than America. So they're just making things up. Like, you think I don't know there's a revolving door? You think I don't? 350 people from terrorist most wanted list tried to enter America from Canada. That means they were in Canada. And that's just the ones people caught. Like, come on. You know? I get pissed talking about Canada, man. Anyway. And, you know, if I have more time, I will do it. I will start the channel. Because I've seen the creators, you know? I've seen the Canadian creators, right? They got one guy named Mario, and he's like, hey, guys, I'm here to tell you guys. He's a phone right to his face, too close. I'm telling you guys right now, what's happening right now with Bill C9 is absolutely crazy. I've brought this up before. I'm like, wow. He's like the best one. Anyway. Racist Bree. I'm kidding. Legend Bree. Her husband says that her husband is I know Black Poppy like myself, and he often tells people that she's racist, which is just the craziest thing to do. Blake reminds me of the annoying nerd kid in school who doesn't realize he's a nerd, swears the jocks are his friends, and tries way too hard. Oh, come on. Come on. I mean, it's all true, but come on. Why are you saying that? Oh, Mark, have you entered the Mint Daddy crew? Oh, fantastic. Chrissy also entered the Mint Daddy crew. Thank you so much. Jen Linney? Anyway. Jenny Lynn. Conspiracy Date Night. Check out LA. What is this? I have no idea how to say that, so I can't even say it in voice to text. L.A. Marzulli. He has a lot about ancient America sites. Oh, that'd be amazing. Including Serpent Mound in Ohio, etc. Also, yeah, Timothy Albert. Yeah, I've heard of that guy. And Steve Quayle, God bless you and your family. Thank you so much. Yeah, I will check those guys out. For those that don't know, in the members, we were just talking about ancient sites in America, and I think like a lot of it's hidden. I don't think they want the people of America to know how much ancient stuff. Like, how is it that Mexico has this whole ancient background with like the Aztecs or the Mayans or whatever, and then all of a sudden, all throughout America, nothing, and then all throughout Canada, nothing. It's like, you destroyed some stuff and didn't tell anybody about it. Anyway, Chef Shannon, 10 minutes in, and I've LOL'd 3 times. You are appreciated. I know what that symbol is. Thank you so much, Chef Shannon. Appreciate you. Yes, that Bianca. Alexis is Milkins every manipulation tactic possible. Congratulations, homegirl. You've dug you and your bureau boo a deeper hole. I like that. Bureau boo. Her bureau boo. That's very I like that. I can't say it for some reason, but I like it. I stole my husband's Jeep. Gift membership from Fleet expired today, so I renewed it. Need me some conspiracy shows. Thank you, Fleet and Coach. I'll just be over here stealing Jeeps. Wow. This is your full-time gig? Yeah. You make your money, you know. Rebecca, and thank you for renewing. Come on in. We're going to be talking about some wild stuff, especially now that the wife is along with me. We set it up perfect. The baby was entertained. Baby only started flipping out around 10 minutes left in the show. Baby got a little upset. Somebody told me that you guys could hear the baby. I didn't realize that. We apologize, but our baby's the best, so it's fine. Rebecca Myers says, what's impressive is that she typed all of that with sticky fingers. Yeah, she must have went voice to text. There's no way she was typing it with those sticky fingers like that. There's no way she did that, right? She must be super talented. Rachel Christensen. I have long hair, so I wear it up most of the time. I've been telling people at work not to talk to me because I have my battle bun on. P.S. Hi, Heather, a.k.a. Other Rachel. Love this community. Thank you so much, Rachel, also known as Heather. Yeah, that's great. That's great. You know, kind of bragging a little too much about having long hair. You know, you don't brag like that to me about long hair, right? But it's okay. You have a battle bun on. That is a good thing to tell people. Like, hey, listen, if my hair's up, don't talk to me, because they don't know whether or not you had your coffee yet. So it's just like, listen, it's game time. I don't have time for all this, right? Introduced my hubby to your show last night, and his first question is, why the mushroom on his hand? I admit, I don't know. It's a tattoo. I don't draw it every day. It's a tattoo, so it stays there. There's a bunch of them. I got a whole bunch. There's a whole bunch of them. They're everywhere. I realize I'm going to tattoo I'm probably just going to go up the road. There's a tattoo place right by me. I'm probably going to get a smiley face somewhere. I really don't care when it comes to tattoos. My kid drew some scribble on me, and I'm like, should I get that tattooed? I'm like, should I just go and just tell them to tattoo that on me? I'm really down for that. My kid's going to make drawings, and I'm just going to get them tattooed all over me. Like, I don't care. Who cares? It's a weird thing that I have. I have no care about what I have tattooed on myself. But this does have a deeper meaning. It's so I can't hide my usage of said thing on hand. And, you know, it helped me in life. I don't suggest it to people. I say find God first now. But for me, at the time in my life, it had a great impact and actually brought me closer to God. I don't think that will happen with everybody, right? Because I've seen it not happen with everybody. But for me, that's what happened, and I didn't want to hide it. So I got a bunch of tattoos just to show people. And I'm immature, so I just get things tattooed on me. What foreign country are they agents of? Yeah, it's like a little bit of Russia and like a little bit of the UK. I've been hearing things like it's Russia and the UK both trying to subvert American politics. I don't know. Absolutely ridiculous, honestly. They're just like, okay, like what links does Candace have? She has a husband, UK? Okay, UK, they're part of that. What do we have? Tucker interviewed Putin. Okay, there you go. Link that up. They're connected to Joe Kent. They're connected to Flynn. Like done. That's the theory. It's real thrown together. You know, they need a little bit more time with that theory, I think. Coach, every time you say Ben Shapipi, I die laughing. Too funny. Prayers for my dad today. He's getting deep brain stimulation surgery today. Well, prayers for your dad, right? I hope you're doing all right. No idea what this is, though. Deep brain stimulation surgery. So when I heard deep brain stimulation, I was like, oh, it's a good thing. And then I heard surgery, and I'm like, oh, no. How deep? How deep we talking about? We talking about pineal gland deep? Like, I mean, it's only like, you know, how deep we going? It's only like this big. Like, how wide is it? You know what I mean? The length? Like, how deep we going? But I hope he's okay. Hope he's okay. Don't be too nervous. Keep God in your hearts, in your mind when you're going through that type of thing. Steph 007, thank you for keeping me entertained during the morning homeschool. LOL. Also, day 2 of asking for a Mint Daddy wish list registry so we can have a Mint baby shower. Mint Daddy baby shower. That is funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think the wife's considering it. I don't know how to do it. That's the thing with me. I don't know how to do it. So if she figures it out, then we can do it. Or just send us money. Send us a bunch of money. Go ahead. Yeah, that's a better way. Just everybody in the chat, just send us $1,000. I mean, I don't like to ask for anything, but I think if you're asking, everybody just send $1,000 if you have to. I mean, yeah. But I'll talk to her. I'll see what she wants to do. If she wants to do it, we'll do it. Alexis Wilkins, I think she's talking about the country music sensation, aka Kash Patel's girlfriend, gets only 59.93 monthly listeners on Spotify. I think that says it all. Yeah, I guess she's trying to go for like another and then in her bio, weirdly enough, in her bio it says that she's like a political commentator. So I'm like, which is it? Like, what are you doing here? You know, it's very weird. It's very weird. If anything happened to Kash, she'd become the new Erica overnight. It would be crazy. Just based on the life that she has. It's weird. The whole thing's weird. On Spotify, that says it all. I have more than that. That's weird. On Spotify. We're on Spotify, by the way. Clip channel, also on Spotify. You go check it out. Link in the description. Country Roads, take me home to a place where I belong. Weirdo land. Is that? No way that's an actual lyric, right? No way. Right? Am I crazy? That's not a real lyric. That's not an actual lyric that she has. Is Weirdo Land? No way. No way. I refuse to believe that. There's no way that's the actual thing. Hold on a second here. No, I'm not even going to look that up. There's no way that's real. Is that real? Country road, take me home to a place where I belong. Weirdo land. Is that the song? I hope so. I would love to do a duet. That'd be great. Generational harmony. That sounds nice. I wondered how long it would be before they tried blaming the Ruskies. Love the show, Coach. Thank you for bringing the laughs. Yeah, it wasn't long. It wasn't long. They always go to that. That's always the go-to. Because again, it's not because of the country itself. It's because, well, yeah, I guess so. It's the long-standing feud, I guess you could say, the long-standing tension between America and Russia. And it's also the thing you can say to people on the right that they understand that it's evil, right? You say Russia and they go, oh, Russia? Right? So they're trying to align them with what's evil. They've already tried to do evil and demonic, but they've said that too many times. So now they're actually trying to be like, listen, Russia is who they're working with. And this is why we can't trust these people. They're basically Russians, right? And it's just not working. It's not going to work this time. Definitely, especially with Candace's audience. I think any of them are buying that for a second. And that's the thing. They're not trying to get Candace's audience to buy it. They're trying to get their base to assemble so they can win midterms. They're trying to galvanize something. They're trying to make something happen so they can come together and win midterms. Usually it's like a race thing that they try. The left and the right tries this all the time. That doesn't seem to be working right now because nobody's concentrated on that. So they're trying other tactics. So it's like attack Candace. Let's see what happens. Watch Nick Shirley's interview on Patrick Bet-David's podcast. At an hour and 25 minutes, he said he completed the interview with Andrew an hour before the bang bang. And he's either the next Charlie or he's a Fed. Yeah, I don't know. I think they were positioning him as Charlie, and you could be both. You know, it's not one or the other, especially when it comes to the next Charlie and being put in that position, placed in that position. He could be both easily, right? At an hour and 25 minutes. I'll have to check that out. So he finished that hour and 25 minutes before. And then Andrew said an hour and 33 minutes. Huh. I have to look into that. Hold on. Let me just write that down really quick. Nick Shirley interview with Patrick Bet-David at 1 hour, 25 minutes. Okay. Yeah, I'll check that out. Bring that to you tomorrow if any of it makes sense to me. Let's keep going here. Rad Red, 10th Gen. The NC, the Nick Shirley CNN interview about the fraud has 666,000 views. I bet it does. Dirty 30, what's going on? I'm still catching up on the past lives and member lives, but I dropped in to make my FedSlop payment. Also, have you seen the video of Chuck Norris and his pal BB? Nintendo Yahoo. I like that. I have seen that. Honestly. And I don't care what his stance was. Like, when it comes to Chuck Norris, I don't care what his stance was in that whole regard, right? In terms of like Middle East, right? The eyebrow people. I don't care about that. He probably was one. Like, I don't know. But that's the thing. You don't even think of Chuck Norris and like, what's Chuck Norris's religion? You don't even think of that because he transcended all that. And when he inspired people, it wasn't because of his political stance. It's like, who cares? Like, that's like asking what Ja Rule thinks. You know, remember Dave Chappelle? Oh, I need to know what Ja Rule thinks about all this. Oh, you know, it's like, I don't care what Chuck Norris thinks about anything. Politically, he was just the cool guy who fought in karate movies. And, you know, that was it. So I don't really care what his stance was in that whole thing, you know. Plus, he's super old. He was like 80 something. It's like, yeah, he comes from that generation where they're going to support no matter what. Like, that's what he comes from, you know. He was a guy that did karate and fought Bruce Lee. You're thinking that he's going to be like super open-minded and he's going to be like one of the cool old people. No. He was Chuck Norris. He just beat people up, you know. Anyway, English-ish, correct-ish English. Honeypot's list makes me want to get X plus follow people she listed. Sorry, girly with no life experience, using her boyfriend's position for credibility. Are you talking about Erica? Are you talking about the country music sensation? This does not make anyone think you have a clue. Yeah, very weird. Very weird thing to put out. Like, that was just out of nowhere. So out of nowhere. I can't wait for Candace to talk about it. Smarty Pants Dance. How is it JK's fault if Tyler Robinson gets off because the prosecution didn't do a complete investigation? Coming forward like that is an oath he took to the Constitution to ensure everyone's rights, even Tyler Robinson's. You're 100% right. You're 100% right. He would have to. Again, like, that's why I brought it up at the beginning. Like, he's just the kind of guy who's going to be like, yeah, sure. Like, I'll testify. He's always going to do what's right. You know, it's not all military guys, but like in the ideal, those are the type of people who we think of when we think of these heroes. Think of these guys that are deployed multiple times. It's like they're called upon by their president. Whether or not they like him, they go, well, he called on me, so I have to go, right? Like, they just do what they're told to do. And Joe knows that, which is why he opposes the war, because he knows that hundreds, thousands of men and women will just do what they're told to do. And if they're marched off to die, they will do that. And he doesn't want to see that happen, obviously. But, you know, testifying towards Tyler Robinson, it's like, it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't you? You know, the admin didn't want to listen to him. The Bureau didn't want to listen to him. And then all of a sudden he goes and talks to their defense team. And also, you know what I will say also? If they don't call on him, I won't even say Candace. Maybe that gets a little crazy. They call on Candace. But if they don't call on him at least, I mean, what are we saying about that defense team? You know what I mean? If they don't, if they just go, well, you know, we didn't want to do that. Nobody likes Joe Kent, right? He's a leaker. Then you know that kid had no friends in regards to his defense team. Like, that's, if they don't call on him, that's not proper defense. That, I'll say that, you know, that'll be the most charitable way of saying it. You know, like both sides are kind of working against him, kind of thing. Sorry, I said sorry. Sarah, Neff is the same guy posting homophobic rants. Is it self-hatred? The pot calling the kettle black? Yeah, it's like the taco calling the bottle of spice zesty. You know, it's weird. It's very weird. You know, very weird. Who knows about that? You know, those guys. What is that? It's just such a Rebenent? Is that a last name? What is that? Turning Point. Don't be conspiratorial. Also, Turning Point. Joe Kent is conspiring to undo the Tyler Robinson trial. Their double standards are showing. Yeah, 100%. Barron was pointing that out yesterday. I played a clip of him talking about that exact, well, not a clip, sorry. It was a X post of him talking about that exact thing. These double standards that they have. It's weird. It's very weird. And it's not weird. I mean, that's what you do when you're trying to push a narrative, right? You kind of push aside double standards and your own ethics and integrity and all that stuff. You push all that stuff aside and you just do the thing, right? That's what Turning Point's currently doing. My opinion. Coach lifestyle change. All analogies will be Whopper related. I had a dream about food. I was like, this is so weird. The raw chicken was the weirdest thing. I'm like, why is there, like, it was like a railing, and I'm like, why? I'm like, Gordon, there's raw chicken there. I'm like, I can't walk through it. He's like, that's gross. And he's like, I don't give an F. Like, you know, it's Gordon Ramsay. Yeah, and I'm with a chef. Like, it was just so crazy. It was such a silly dream. I woke up so hungry, you know? It's getting ridiculous. And then my weight didn't go down. I'm pissed. Anyway, whatever. Rachel J. Love you, coach. What brand is your chair? Looks cozy. What is it? What is this? Secret Labs. It is a Secret Labs chair. I got they have like large and extra large. I was like, I don't know. I don't care. So I got extra large. It's a pretty cool chair. It's pretty good. I like it. You know, it's right up there with DX racer chairs, and it's very cozy. This is a cover, though. I don't know if they come in this color. I have a cover over it because when I had it all black, it looked like I was just this turtle shell of a man. So I didn't like it. I needed some color to show that I actually had a neck and I had proper proportions. But thank you so much. Appreciate you. Fit Cali chick. Besides also feeling like a moron, many of us 3-time president voters lost family and friends. I work in public education and people literally hate conservatives. Now, DJT admin is hanging us out to dry. Yeah. Yeah. Isn't that what it feels like? Isn't that what it feels like? You know, it's not fun anymore. It's not fun anymore. The jokes aren't as good, you know? It's like, what happened? What's happening right now? Everything, you know? At least do, you know, like, I can't say he's not doing anything that he said he was going to do, but like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you what even needs to happen. He's obviously not going to get rid of Kash Patel. You know, as much as we don't like Kash Patel's doing everything that the president wants, right? So from his perspective, it's like, oh, this Kash Patel guy's great. But it's like, from our perspective, it's like, oh my gosh. In Denzel Washington's voice, we've been bamboozled, hoodwinked, led astray, run amok. Yeah, there's a lot of that. All of those things all at once. Rachel, it's so funny. Heather, coach got me rolling over here. Stop, my sides hurt, can't breathe. Oh, that's always fun to hear. That is fun to hear. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you. Grumpy Knuckles, we all thinking the same thing. That double pump is crazy though, bro. Was definitely a strange. Even PS, my best friends from Barbados. Are they? Where in Barbados? Yeah, where in Barbados? Let me know. That matters. That matters to people who are from small islands. No, it doesn't matter to me, but yeah, I can tell you if we're related. If you tell me where. Yeah, the double pump. I didn't do the double. He did. He hugged her. While she's throwing up a satanic hand symbol. I was like, what? What's happening? And I ignored it. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and click off of this. You know? She's grieving, you know, I don't know, you know, maybe she's a part of something, I don't know. Good God, man. Just keeps happening. Looks like we have over 7K watching. Can I get a poppy song? I know black, nunca, nunca, no black, nunca, nunca, no black, nunca, nunca, I know black poppy. That song was so good, Fleet. If Fleet hears this, man, that song was excellent. That was such a good song. Are you kidding me? This is crazy how good that song was. Thank you so much, Hope. Appreciate you. Charmaine Bush? Whatever. I'm going to call you Charlemagne. How about that? Because I can pronounce that better. For a fact, Nick Shirley is not a liar. I've personally met him, although he does believe TR is the shooter. Young, innocent kid that does not lie. Well, you would be insane to think that anyone you've ever met in your life doesn't lie at all. That's not how people work. That's just not how it works. Everybody lies eventually about something. To say that you just think he just doesn't lie about anything, that's crazy. That's crazy. So just putting it out there. But he does seem cool. He does seem cool with the stuff that he covers and going into these things, but also it does seem like kind of a setup. You know, when you see someone get propelled to the White House so quickly like that guy did, and then all of a sudden he's just going along with every narrative that's out there, and also not just going along with the narratives, but also enforcing them. A lot of people, maybe you don't notice, like a lot of the stuff he does, if there is a narrative that the admin puts out, he enforces it by doing videos about the exact same thing, right? Now, I don't like the way California's run at all, but I know that the president has a little bit of a vendetta against California as well. So, and I know the president also didn't like Minnesota, but it's not to say that Minnesota wasn't doing anything bad. I mean, that daycare thing was just crazy, right? And I don't think they've rectified that. I don't think that community has shown proper, I don't know, paperwork, any evidence that everything's on the up and up there. So I think he did some solid work showing it. But I also know that the president didn't like Minnesota, and he didn't like Tim Walz. So then Nick goes over there, handles business. I know he doesn't like Gavin Newsom, and I know he doesn't like what's going on in California. So now Nick goes over there, and he's exposing fraud over there. So it's like, it's good journalistic work, but also you can look at it through a lens of he's running around being a little enforcer at the same time. So I just always, it's like, what were you told at the White House? What did they tell you? They just had you there. You just answered a few questions with Trump. That was it. No background figures talked to you, told you anything. Nothing. Okay. I feel like that's not how it works at the White House, but fine. Yeah, that's how some people feel. Good sir, it is my duty to inform you that you have gone max today. Enjoy your donation and have a great day. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for informing me. I would not have known otherwise, I thought I was just going crazy. I thought I was just having a break, I thought I was just going nuts. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you. Appreciate you. You're making Charlie cry in heaven talking about the memorial. You can't ask or comment, or it's antiseptic. Conspiracies. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. I do apologize, for noticing that. It was crazy. What is this? Meshulam Bell? I'm going to call you Meshy. Okay. Have you seen YouTube Nick Shirley 4 to 7 years ago? All he did was prank and lie content. Really? What is lie content? Goes on a mission and comes back to politics. Love you, coach, and Miss Coaching Crew. That's interesting. I did not know that about him. So he was doing prank videos. Now, I kind of understand if you're doing prank videos, I understand the evolution. Like, we're going to see a lot of young people evolve in front of the screen. So I could see somebody doing one type of content and then it switches. I had this whole thing, like my first few episodes, I was like wearing like a vest and a tie and this and that. And then it was like, it didn't take long. It was like around like episode 5 or 6. I was like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, I want to be myself. I'm like, I don't wear that stuff. I'm like, I don't dress like that. I dress like this. And I'm like, I just want to be myself. So it didn't take long for me, but like you do see, like I started vlogging. Like that's how I started. I was vlogging and running around and, showing people in Australia things that they wanted to see. So I understand people evolve, but it is interesting. Like you become, it's kind of, I love Tucker, but it is kind of like the situation with Tucker. Tucker is not sure what he wants to do. His dad suggests going into journalism. Instead, he tries to apply to the agency. He doesn't get in, then becomes a journalist, and then is on the way to becoming the biggest one in the world. I'm going to be very charitable with Tucker because I like Tucker. I can acknowledge my bias there. I like what he stands for. I like the things he says. I like the content he makes. But if you didn't want to be generous, you could be like, oh, well, you applied and then you didn't make it. And then you obviously did. And that's why you're on this trajectory that you've been on for decades, right? You could say the same thing with Nick. You could say this is just a kid evolving naturally. And that's what happens. Right? You go from pranks, you grow up a little bit, maybe you want to do a little bit of a vlog, maybe you want to get into this stuff, that stuff, and the next thing you know, you're doing politics. Or kind of like a Charlie Kirk thing, somebody could have said, hey, Nick, I think you should do this type of content. I think you should do politics. I think you'd be really good in that role. We don't know who finances him. From what he says, it is all financed by him, and it's from the videos. He makes a video, it makes X amount of dollars, and that finances the next video. That could very well be true, and it could just be a natural progression. But if you didn't want to be charitable, you could be like, okay, he was doing prank videos and he switched to this because he's some kind of plant. It depends. it depends whether or not you like him, how you're going to see that, you know? I'm a little bit in between. I think both are possible. Sway Diesel. I once had a dream I was floating in an ocean of orange soda. How'd you know? Did you taste it? It was more like, it was more of a fantasy. Wow. That is just, the wife loves puns. I'm going to tell the wife about that. If she hasn't seen that, that's a beautiful pun. That is very, very nice. I mean, wow. Incredible pun there. I mean, got to give it up. That was a solid pun. Amazing. Good for you. Adam is a TSN hire. Adam, not a friend of the show from Patrick Bet David's podcast. Absolutely bringing that podcast down. Absolutely terrible addition. Sent one membership. Heather in the house. Thank you so much, Heather. Appreciate you. Someone thank Heather. Someone got it. Lexi Warren, Brandy girl, maybe from Brandy and Billy. Was it? Because she was following me. I guess they both follow me. It might have been. You might be right about that. I'm sorry if that was the case, Brandy, and I didn't realize it was you. I apologize. You guys are doing great work. Fantastic work. Star Studio. Recommending Pyramid of Power by Derek Bronze. Pyramid of Power, Derek Bronze. There you go. Now, because, you know, I'm doing this thing with the wife, the membership thing, I actually have an outlet to actually put that type of stuff out. So that'll be fun. We'll look into it. Joanne Manzo, cabinet announcement bit, 10 out of 10, hoodwinked. There you go. There you go. Yeah, I got to do that one on stage. My Chocolate Queen in President's voice. That's so funny. My Chocolate Queen Candace. I've said that way too many times, you know? There's too many clips of me saying my Chocolate Queen Candace, you know? Somebody's going to clip that up one day. Ms. Krzyzes. I feel bad about your pizza dream. Nightmare because you didn't even get to eat it. Also, all the raw chicken, have you not had a cheat day? No, I've just started. I was just eating pizza on Sunday, so I don't deserve a cheat day yet. Not yet. I don't even close to deserve a cheat day yet. I don't know. I might do a cheat meal, maybe on Sunday, maybe. We'll see. But yeah, you got to lose the weight first before I give that to myself. And I didn't eat it. It was actually good. It was kind of like a triumph in the dream because I was like, let's eat it. And then I was like, you know what? I thought to myself, in the dream, I'm like, I can't do that. Like, I'm not supposed to be eating bad. I just didn't do it. It was good. So it was a good dream. It was a good dream. You know, all my dreams are like just ridiculous. They're never bad or terrifying. They're always just ridiculous dreams. Always. Moira, thanks for the laughs and the screenshot I took of your Prez Orange impression. LOL. Coworkers were laughing at me laughing. That is so funny. Thank you so much. That screenshot. Sir, this is the event of the century. Stop what you're doing. I've known her since she was 17. Hey, buddy, you can't be. Whoa. You're on the stage. Charlie's hands are. Come on. Can't do that. UVU hasn't even paved over the crime scene yet, and you're doing this? Hey, you can't do that. Anyway, just joking. Friend of the show, President. If you could get AJ from the Y-Files for an interview, that'd be the coolest thing ever. Definitely right up your alley. All things weird. AJ from the Y-Files is an OG, a triple OG. That would be an incredible interview. I wouldn't even know how to get in contact. Maybe, I don't know. I might know someone that knows him. I might. That would be a great interview. He would be a great person to talk to. I don't know if he'd do it, but I would love to do that interview because he's a guy where You know, I know a lot of things when I talk about stuff, but he knows a lot of weird, obscure things. Like when he's on Sean Ryan, he talks about the hole. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. He talks about this hole that people are like throwing all this stuff into. And it's just like weird happening that's going on. People aren't sure if it's real or if it's not. And the military takes the guy's property over because there's this hole that kind of leads to like nowhere. And it's just such a cool story. He has so many cool stories. That would be really cool. Shout out to AJ. Shout out to Y-Files. Triple OGs. Transplender, aka Alex Cargill on Elon. I love him. We're mutual. He's out there fighting for Canada. I've seen that guy. I follow that guy. I'm positive I follow that guy. Yeah, I have seen that guy. Yeah, he's out there. He seems like he is a 51st state guy. He seems like that. I'm pretty sure. And I like it. I like it. You know? Nothing like having a solid constitution. Nothing like having a good old First Amendment. You know, not every place has that. A lot of people don't know in America. Not every place has that. You can't just go around. It's different. That first and second, you don't got that everywhere. There's only one place in the world that has that. That's it. It's weird, man. It's weird. People don't realize what a blessing it is. Honestly, don't realize what a blessing it is. You know? I don't have an option to renew my membership subscription. Help. An option to renew it? I don't know. I don't know. Click join. Can someone help her with that? Texas Beach Girl, if she's still here. I would say that you should probably just click join and then you can just handle it from there, I think. Because if it was gifted to you, maybe you can't renew it. But someone just said that they did. They said they were gifted it and they renewed. So I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look into that. But definitely, if you go to the channel and you click join, they'll handle it for you for sure. More popped up. What's going on here? Hold on, some more popped up. Way back up there. Back up there. First come, first serve. Let's go. Blake plays with gerbils. Mikey Riley. Thank you, Mikey. Thank you for bringing us the hard-hitting stuff here. Only important things in my and then she joined the Mint Daddy crew. All right, you must have figured it out, or somebody gifted you that. Thank you so much. Finally, Mark, friend of the show, friend of the Candace show, friend of the show here, finally broke down and got a membership. But there's one condition: we have to do another crossover episode. Oh yeah, I'm down. We could do I can definitely do your show. That's no problem. And then we could also do like a membership thing if you want, so we can really like go into some topics. But yeah, we could definitely do that. Definitely. I'm down. I'm up for it. Let's go. Never mind. It worked. It worked to renew. Thought you thought I was a bot. No, I don't think you're a bot. We see you all the time, Texas Beach Girl. Come on. What beach you on? What beach you on, Texas Beach Girl? I know it's not Bushy Creek. I know you're not around Bushy Creek. Not that beach. What beach you around? Denise Mitchell. If you spell Chuck Norris in Scrabble, you win. Forever. Chuck Norris calendar goes straight from March 31st to April 2nd because no one fools Chuck Norris. If and when Chuck Norris ever dies, he will welcome God into heaven. Man, those jokes that just started forming around Chuck Norris, that's legendary, man. It transcends everything. I'm telling you, man. He's like, I don't care what his stance was on anything, really. Just say Julie, for the most part. I mean, again, he's like a guy you don't even know his stances. Like why are you even looking up Chuck Norris's political stances? You know? Just know that he fought Bruce Lee. That's all you need to know. Just say Julie started my day with I know Black Poppy. Love AD Fleet's vids. Yesterday's members was fun with you and the missus. She sounds lovely. God bless you and your family, coach. Thank you so much. And she is lovely. She is a lovely lady. And she had fun too. So that's good. That means she'll do it again. And the baby had fun too. D Willa, Cash P's girlfriend, has done more for this country than he has. Oh, jeez. Oh, God. Oh, God. That's an intense insult. That is very, very intense. Jeez. I mean, you went way below the belt. I mean, you really, you hit him. You hit him where the honey goes with that one. I mean, wow. Jeez. That is crazy. Thank you for that. Appreciate you, D Willa. I'm a CND, and CND commentators are to follow are Mark Nix, Pleb the Reporter, and Jasmine Lane. I've seen these names. I've never seen the Nixon name. Pleb the Reporter, I'm pretty sure I follow him on X. Why, is he on YouTube as well? I've never Pleb the Reporter. Let's see what he has going on here. I just want to see something. I like Sunshine Baby. That's who I like. Sunshine Baby is he's a solid Canadian reporter, but he reports a lot on America now. Let's see. 1 day ago, 6 days ago, 1 month ago, 2 months ago. Oh, that frequency, boy. That frequency. I'm telling you, if I start making Canada videos, that frequency has never been seen before. Never been seen before. Let me look up this Mark Nixon guy, because I'll make a video every day. That's just how I roll. Always. I redline myself. Oh, this Mark Nixon character. Oh, he seems cool. He's wearing a suit. Yeah, nice, I guess. 3 days ago. Video 18 hours ago. 3 days ago. 6 days ago. 7 days ago. 8 days ago. 11 days ago. Tell you, that frequency, boy. You got to kick that frequency up. And then Jasmine, what's her name? Jasmine Lane. Let's see. Oh, okay. Let's see the frequency here for you, Jasmine. 18 hours ago, 1 day ago, 4 days ago, 5 days ago, 6 days ago, 7 days ago, 8 days ago, 10 days ago. Okay, she has a pretty solid frequency. Okay. You need to stay very, very, you have to lock in when you're making videos. But I followed each one of them, so I'll look into them. We'll see how boring they are. I bet they are. Just kidding. I'm kidding. You know. Can I get a me no black poppy? Me no black nunca nunca, no black nunca nunca. I want a hoodwinked hoodie. Do you? A hoodwinked one? Oh yeah, we should. I need a designer. I need someone who's a designer to do it. Actually, someone reached out to me to be a designer. I should check out what she can do. Pretty sure it's a she. It was Brandy and Billy who spoke to Tyler's family in the courtroom. Okay, so it has to be. Okay, so it was that Brandy. Sorry, I didn't realize that, Brandy. I've only seen the Billy and Brandy account and then the Billy account. That's all I've ever seen. I haven't seen your account, but I guess I followed you, so I must have known. Nurse CJ, sorry, joining late this morning. Did you discuss Kent on Levin? 55 55 seconds in, Levin loses it, in my opinion. What, the whole thing's out? I only found clips of it. We did cover it. Didn't cover it today. Covered it yesterday. I was rolling through the clips. Yeah, it was a sad little showing. Definitely. He was not ready for all of that, in my opinion. Bobby Joe Marie. Bobby Joe Marie, what a name. I love names like that. Haven't seen the show in a few weeks, but watching this morning, first thing I noticed was you look like you lost weight. Keep going. You got this. Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Pronounced Miss Chris Viz. Oh, your dream is a triumph. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It was a triumph, right? Because we could have just started eating. It was Gordon Ramsay. I could have told him to make me any food I wanted. I could have been like, man, cinnamon buns. Make me a cinnamon bun with chicken on top. And like I could have told him all sorts of crazy stuff. But I didn't. I didn't. Instead, we walked through a disgusting place and there was raw chicken on the rafters. It's crazy. Man. But thank you guys so much for showing up today. Yeah, I only saw clips as well, you know? I didn't see any. Like, is there a full interview of the Mark Levin thing? I mean, that's why I was like, does he do his show on the radio? I'm like, this is gross. Joe Kent, let's see. Okay, so is it video? It's just audio? Who are you? Who are you? You just do audio? This is the guy? Oh, they let this guy take over Mega? Oh my goodness. Just ridiculous. Oh God. Here, you said 25 minutes.
Hey folks, Mark Levin here.
Hey folks, Mark Levin here. Hi, how you guys doing? I have a traitor to the country on my podcast today. Hi, everybody. Name's Mark. Hi.
Congratulations on this one, Tucker. He's interviewing Nick Fuentes, October 2025, just a few months ago. Trashing 1187.
It's very hard for them to get out.
They lied.
I know I'm muted. I know I'm muted. I was going to get real petty with this person right now. That's why I didn't have anything even on audio just now, because I was going to get very, very petty. There's no need to get petty with people. There's no need. No need. I was going to say some real petty stuff just now. No, that wasn't the longest mute ever. Believe you me, it was one of the shorter mutes that I've had in my life. But I was just talking about nothing's developed online. Candace is gone. Australia's gone. Europe's gone. The Democrat Party's gone. We're all left to fight this. That's Mark Levin. Yeah, nothing has developed yet. You know, people are still recovering from Kash Patel's girlfriend giving us all this crazy, crazy update with all those data sets. We'll hear Candace talk about that for sure today. Let's keep going. Candace just let the cat out of the bag, never spoke to Joe Kent till after Charlie's passing. I mean, it's all just nonsense. All just nonsense. So, nothing's developed. Oh, Tyler Robinson. Hold on a second. No, nothing. I was just looking at all this just to see. And this is not stuff I can pull up on the screen because it's X, and then out of nowhere, it'll be like the most inappropriate picture ever. It'll be like, you know, small mustache guy like doing a Elon salute out of nowhere, and then And then the next thing you know, it's my fault, that kind of thing. So I won't be doing that. Anyway, yeah, there's nothing here. There's nothing going on right now. Everybody's just reacting to what Candace talked about, and there's nothing going on. Just wanted to give you guys a little update really quick. Really, really quick, just to check it out, No, I was muted purposely. I was saying some things. I was like, I shouldn't say all these things. I was saying some stuff, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna say all this stuff. I gotta not get caught up in X, and I was about to get caught up. I was about to say some very. Sometimes I get caught up. And I say some things. Yeah, not that I shouldn't say it, but it's like, why take the time to say the things? Like I was about to show you guys me going off on this girl. I'm like, I'm not doing that. Why am I doing that? Like, I don't even know if it's a real person. I don't care. They don't like Candace. That's why they're commenting on my stuff. I don't want to get into it. So anyway, I'm not doing that. I'm not getting into a fight with somebody online, especially in front of you guys. It's like, should I do that? It's fun. It's definitely fun. But is it worth it, like, afterwards? I don't want to do that. I do want to do that right now, but I don't want to do it at the same time. It's a weird thing here. So anyways, guys, just wanted to leave you guys with something to think about. You guys should be really, really considering what it is that you guys watch. Again, just showing you what's acceptable, what's not, and this is completely unacceptable. Just saying bye to everybody. No, I'm not doing it. I know. See, it's like it's good. It's good to do, but it's not. It's not at the same time. Like, I literally just pulled that up, and I'm like I'm muted, and I'm like swearing right now. Like, you guys couldn't hear it. I'm swearing, and I'm like, this effing this. Let me just fucking. And then I'm gonna start going off on her, like, in front of you guys. Like, nah, there's no need for that. There's no need, man. I'm in a blessed position. God has blessed me with a great community. My wife and I always ask God for community. We ask God for good friends. We ask God, to be protected. We ask God to provide for us. And all of it's happening right now. So why on earth should I be fighting with people online? I can't do that. It's not spitting in his face, but it's like, you got to know what you have, right? You got to really, step into what you have. I talked about it on the members live, but there's also a thing that I have. I was an actual coach, and there's this program that I have, and I'm not going to sell it to you. I'm going to give it to you for free. And again, there's no sell, there's no upsell, anything. It's just like a program that I made to change my life. And I'm thinking about putting it probably on either the Discord or my website. You guys can just download it for free. And if you can get a hold of me, I'll help you out with it every now and then. But yeah, I was just thinking of doing that because I feel like I've always wanted in a community to also have an element of it where we don't just laugh, we don't just make jokes, but there's also the life part, right? The laughter and the jokes help make things bearable. But then there's also the part of like improving and making sure that you do better in that sense. So I'm going to help you out the best I can. I guess I'll just say that. So thank you guys so much. I'll do that eventually. I don't know when that's going to happen, but I just feel like that's what should be happening with community. Community shouldn't just be a place where you just F off from life. It should be a place where you can actually talk about real stuff going on in your life. I should be able to talk about it. You guys should be able to talk about it. So that's probably something that'll be like implemented in the Discord. It already happens in the members chats from time to time, but that's something that should happen because that is a thing that I really do value. I value being able to help people, and I've always helped people. That is literally why I was Coach Colin. Why I am Coach Colin, but I don't take coaching clients anymore, but I had a bunch before. I've helped them all out. So there is a little program that I've made that I guess eventually we'll make it into a PDF, and we'll make sure you guys can have it, because I think that's a part of the community that's missing. I think that's a part of what a lot of communities are missing, is the part about, you know, actually helping the community that you bring together, right? You know, when you think of community, it's not just about making money. It's not just about selling merch. It's not just about coming together and laughing. It's about also, you know, the other parts, right? You think of it like a community, like you would, like the community you live in. So, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. Don't know why I brought that up. Just figured I'd bring that up. We are at 3 hours, ladies and gentlemen. I have said bye hundreds of times, and I will say bye one more time. Candace will be on. We will discuss Candace when I come back tomorrow. Hopefully she doesn't go off on Blake again. I don't know if Blake can handle all that. It's just really hard for him right now. I mean, especially with all this going on. I mean, I'm sure he's seen this again. Just putting it up there to show you just what's acceptable and what's not. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for showing up. I will see you tomorrow, 10 a.m., 10:15, let's say.